Hello, what are we doing? It's Happy Friday night. Yeah. What's up, everybody? How's it going? Let's see who's here. Tim Larson was first. He says, am I the only one having delivery issues with Amazon? I bet Amazon DSP found out I'm a Magasport. Well, delivery services could be what they found out, or it could be that they're just fooked up lately. Mr. Sharkman says, I didn't notice, but thanks for the heads up. Just don't call me Johnson. Brian Ogden says, $130 million donation to our military. That would be very nice, whoever did that. SB Farmer says, way, let's go Dodgers. And then Ank says, did I get my pooter fixed yet? None of your business is good evening all. And I said, no, my pooter is still flooked. And then Ank says, hi, Nanya. He says, I'm running the old one, and it still works okay. Did I send a new one in for repairs? Well, I returned it for a refund. I'm waiting for the refund on a new one because, third strike, 3 strikes and you're out. It was the third time. So, and I did already order a new one, but it's custom built and it's going to take about 2 weeks for them to build it. So we'll see what happens. And believe it or not, that was a lot more money. Hey, what's up, Rachel Boone? How you doing? Jay Marco, what's up? No Jabsky, hello. Steve Hilliard, what's up, buddy? Nice to see you tonight. Mr. Daniel Gagax, how you doing? Gagax. Catherine K, what's up? Oh, wait, who else is here? Captain Z, what's up? Hey, Jim in the chat, what's going on? Phil Coggins is here. How you doing? Hank goes, lol. Yes, and paying YouTube tribute to YouTube gods. Yeah. Oh, shit, I didn't shut the ads off. Let me get those. 1 second. Okay. I think that should be taken care of now. No more ads. Sorry about that. It's all cool. It's all good. All right. Yeah. You always build your own. I built this one that's running now, and I built it in 2016. So it's almost 10 years old. And it's still working, but it's way outdated. And I was going to build a new one. I looked into it and I started pricing stuff out, and I don't know. it started to add up real fast. And then I was like, man, and then if I screw something up, hey, what's up, Terry? How you doing? Mr. K, hello. Manny Goat, what's going on? All right. Well, we got some news this evening. We're going to jump right into things. We're not going to mess around. But first, yeah, you get more when you build your own. Yeah, you do. I would have got more, but I don't know. I mean, we'll see what happens. I wanted everything water cooled. I want the graphics card water cooled. I want everything liquid cooled, so a custom liquid cooled system, which I guess you could do. There's a way that you could order stuff directly from Corsair, the parts to do it. They sell all the kits and everything to basically to do it yourself. But it's like $2,000 just for the setup. Just for the setup. So I was like, oh, just for that, not counting the motherboard, which is it's like $700, and then the chip is $700-800, and then memory sticks. And I no longer live near a micro center and hate buying crap online, so I went looking for a builder. Yeah. Oh no, this one's guaranteed. It's from Origin PCs. They has a lifetime like labor and service warranty like that, shipping and labor warranty, and 3 years on parts. So if something fails after, yeah, you got a monster motherboard. Yeah, it's a Rogue Hero something or other. Rogue something Hero. I don't know. Asus Rogue Hero, something like that. The one I got in this computer is an Asus Rogue Rapture Rampage 5 Special Edition 10, something. Yeah, I don't know. Building your own water cooled computer is a pain in the ass. I tried it, built one 5 years ago, didn't go well. Yeah, that's what I was saying. And I looked, and like the places around me, like the places here, all they were going to do is just buy the stuff, like buy the pre-setup things, basically. Like if I wanted a water cooled graphics card, I had to buy one that had the water cooler thing built in, like the radiator that you would just mount, and then not like so we'll see. Mm-hmm. We'll see. But anyway, let's get going. Oh, before we get going, I want to thank everybody who's here. Please remember to hit the like, and if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe if you haven't. And remember that this show goes about 2.5 hours, 2.5 hours, something a little more, whatever. But if we want to extend it by an hour for every $75 that comes in across all platforms, Cash App, PayPal, Rumble Rants, YouTube Super Chats, gifted memberships, all that stuff, locals coins, and whatever. That for every $75, I will extend the show by one additional hour, so we can go as long as you guys want. And at $75, we also activate the Bellavision. Unless somebody makes a single donation of $25 or greater, and then then it's an automatic Bellavision. Yeah, in 3 years it will be old. Well, yeah. So it's got a 3-year warranty. They cover everything. It's for 3 years. So in lifetime. Oh, Brian Ogden comes in with a gifted membership. Thank you very much, Brian Ogden. Let's see who got that. That was Jason Lizette, got a gifted membership, so thank you. So with that, then the banner will adjust and go to 69. Oh, he just wanted it to be 69. $69. That's what he wanted. 69, dude. $69 to the first additional hour. Mm-hmm. Been okay, lonely? Well, okay. And thank you very much, Brian. All right. Let's do this. I don't know if you guys saw this. I saw this was funny. It says the White House has updated their website to include major events timeline, which now includes a photo of Barack Obama in full Islamic garb in the year 2012 with the category Muslim Brotherhood visit. The description reads, a Muslim Brotherhood visit. Obama hosts members of the Muslim Brotherhood, a group that promotes Islamist extremism and has ties to Hamas. Muslim Brotherhood is a designated terrorist organization by nearly a dozen nations. If the White House believes this, how come the Muslim Brotherhood still hasn't been designated as an Islamic terror organization? I'm glad the White House is admitting that Barack Hussein Obama was our first Muslim president. Obama lied about not being a Muslim, but we all know the truth. That's why he flooded our country with over 2 million Muslims from terror hot zones. Designate the Muslim Brotherhood as a foreign terrorist organization now. Yeah, see, so they put this in there. And then look at this. From Phil Labonte says, perfectly. He means he's done it perfectly, because it says the White House has revamped its website to defend the destruction of the East Wing. It's not destruction, it's called construction. You can't build something until you, look at those dates. You can't build something until you actually do damage. So, yeah, so you got 2012 Muslim Brotherhood visit. And look at this. Oh, in 2023, cocaine discovered in the White House. What's this? And this guy says liberal media has provided a problem with documented historical fact being posted on the White House website. They revamped the White House to defend the destruction of the East Wing. You missed Jim last night. Watched We Are the Show. Dina's great, funny, and we get raccoons. Oh, okay, well, you know. Mm-hmm. Trump wasn't around, yeah. So here it is. Here's the White House official, right here, the official White House, about the White House and everything. East Wing expansion stages. Step 1, inspiration planning. Step 3, funding secured. So they got all the funding. Right now they're planning and funding and their renderings, and they're doing it. They got a major timeline of events here. Okay, so design plans commenced in the 1790s. Our first president, George Washington, selected the site for the White House in 1791. Okay, the following year, the cornerstone was laid, and design submitted by Irish-born architect James Hoban was chosen after 8 years of construction. President John Adams and his wife Abigail moved into the still unfinished residence. Oh. Well, I hope you're feeling better. Got your hernia fixed, getting over being sore now. That's good. Oh, you missed me, though? Well, thank you, Rachel Boone. I missed you, too. Okay. Mm-hmm. History. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. Now we're going to go through the history. It says rebuilding after 1812, the addition of the South Portico, addition of the North Portico during Andrew Jackson, addition of the West Wing was in 1902 during President Teddy Roosevelt. You can see all the construction they did. And then William Howard Taft remodeled and expanded the West Wing, including the Oval Office. And then Woodrow Wilson also put in the Rose addition of the Rose Garden. And then the East Wing was added in 1934 and 42. All right. And then total reconstruction in 1948 under Harry Truman. They undertook total reconstruction of the White House, everything. And then they installed the Truman balcony, and it provided the first family with a private outdoor space where they could see things. And everybody was upset about that at the time. Like, oh my God, you're putting you're cutting a hole in the side of the building. How do you do this? And then in the 70s, they added a briefing room. And then in 1998, we had the Bill Clinton scandal. President Clinton's affair with intern Monica Lewinsky was exposed, leading to the White House perjury investigations. The Oval Office tryst fueled impeachment for obstruction. Wow. And then we got the Muslim Brotherhood visit with Obama, And then the tennis pavilion in 2020 was First Lady Melania Trump oversaw the privately funded construction of a 1,200 square foot tennis pavilion on the South Lawn, featuring a neoclassic design with copper roof and limestone cladding. The elegant structure unifies the tennis court, children's garden, and kitchen garden, enhanced with recreational opportunities for first families. Wow, that's a cool looking thing. And then, oh my God, look at this. In 2023, cocaine was discovered. During the Biden administration, a U.S. Secret Service agent. Oh, wait. What is going on? A U.S. Secret Service agent discovered a small zippered plastic bag containing cocaine in the West Wing entrance lobby. Speculation had pointed to Hunter Biden, an admitted drug user. Additional evidence includes a laptop seized in 2019, which contains photo of the frequent drug user, along emails about foreign business dealings, Ukraine, China, involving his father, Joe, while he was vice president. This is on the White House website, people. You're getting a TENS unit for your back. Any knowledge about those? Yeah. I mean, is it? They're great. TENS units are great, Steve. I have a permanently installed one called a spinal cord stimulator, and it's mounted, and there's it's attached, to my spine and everything, with the leads right where they need to be to hit the spot. And I have a roll control and it has a charger and everything like that. But I used TENS units for years before I got the spinal cord stimulator installed. They're great. They're really good. Yeah, the trolling is epic. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then so that, and then in 2023-24, Trans Day of Visibility, that the Biden-Harris administration hosted transsexuals at the White House in 2023, and goes on to establish the Transgender Day of Visibility on the same day as Easter Sunday in 2024. TENS units are great if you have, sore muscles, stuff like that, back pains and stuff. You got to be a little careful with them. You want to make sure you don't ever run them, run them across your heart or anything. And then, in 2025, they had the North and South flagpoles. And then in 2025, the Rose Garden renovations. And then 2025, Oval Office renovations. And then the East Ring reservations, which is what they're doing now. They're going to add a 90,000 square foot ballroom. Okay. Paid for by private donors, not paid for by, not paid for anybody, and they make a big deal about this, but Obama did a bunch of renovations stuff at the White House that was like 300 something million, and it was paid for with tax dollars. Nobody complained then, Yeah, so Trump trolls the Democrats with White House timeline showing scandals of Biden, Clinton, and Obama. What was my original diagnosis? I originally had 3 herniated discs, and then they called it like stenosis, spinal stenosis. I had a laminectomy and something, a disc something or other, and but anyway, I had 3 different surgeries, and it seemed to get worse each time, actually. So. But I would recommend to anybody that has back problems, if you can avoid getting back surgery, if it's, like anyone says like, oh yeah, it'll be fine. I don't know. I think it's a crapshoot when they get in there and start jerking around with stuff. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so they trolled with the White House. The White House trolled them with the stuff. So reveal of Biden's secret emails. Trump administration launched an official major events timeline with the White House response to Democrats moaning about the president's ballroom construction, including scandals like former Bill Clinton's affair and Hunter Biden's drug use. You have 5 bulging discs in your lumbar. They do have some stuff now, Steve, that you might want to look into, where they can. It's not stem cells or something that they can put. They can give you an injection. And where it'll actually there's ways to actually make those discs come back, and like there's ways to make them come back into shape without actually doing surgery or anything like that. There's other things, I would tell you immediately, increase your vitamin B12 intake, because the stuff, your discs and stuff like that, a lot of the pain and the issues will eat up your B12, and so increasing your B12 will actually help it. Mm-hmm. You worked in a medical field, never heard positive things regarding spine surgery. Yeah, I don't know. Most people I know of, if it works, it's only for a few years, and then it's right back to where it was. Yeah, so the timeline featured the White House website, building design of the original building, all the way through the process of it was burned by British forces. And one of the scrolls of the 90s is a Clinton photo with former White House intern Monica Lewinsky. Oh. Cocaine discovery. For 2012, it shows Barack Obama meeting with the Muslim extremist group, the Muslim Brotherhood. Yeah, Obama hosts members of the Muslim Brotherhood. And then with a photo of Hunter Biden smoking a cigarette in a bathtub, the White House marked 2023 as the year the Secret Service agent discovered a bag of cocaine in the West Wing. Same with shoulder surgery. Oh, man. Hey, Mellow Cat, how you doing? That's terrible what your aunt with staph infection. That's brutal. Because I'm probably going to have to get my shoulder worked on. I got something going on in there. They said it's got to get cleaned out, whatever that means. Speculation point Hunter Biden admitted drug user. Also in 2023 was a transgender activist invited by the Biden White House put on a sexual display by pulling off his shirt to reveal his fake breasts. Wow. And former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton wrote on X that Trump is destroying the White House. Well, didn't she steal a bunch of shit out of the White House? Didn't they steal a bunch of furniture they had to get back? Pretty sure. It's not his house, it's your house, and he's destroying it. There's a bunch of these people are such fucking liars, man. The president's claimed construction of the ballroom wouldn't interfere with the existing White House structure. Not the structure, but the outside. So they have to open up the outside so they can extend into the new, you know, that's what they do. They open it up and they keep building going. Do they know how construction works? They should have probably started building something and made it so that people couldn't see this, so they couldn't get these photos. But, you know, this is Trump's presidency, illegal, destructive, and not helping you. What is fucking people are such scumbags? White House Press Secretary Levitt pushed back on the complaints, arguing that nearly every president who's lived in a beautiful White House behind me has made modernizations and renovations of their own. And in fact, presidents for decades in modern times have joked about how they wish they had a larger event space here at the White House, something that they could hold hundreds more people than the current East Room and State Dining Room. President Obama even complained that during his tenure, he had to hold a state dinner on the South Lawn and rent a very expensive tent. We're in the same boat. 3 cervical spine surgeries on a shoulder in 4 years. I have a bulging disc and lower back, hitting nerves, trying to avoid going under ice again. Yeah, there's other stuff now that they've had that, like when my surgeries were back in 2012, 2013. There's a lot of different stuff that they have now from I'm hearing about. They have like, it's not like the whole, prednisone or whatever that they used to do, just shoot prednisone in there to try to do it. But they have past surgeries have led to muscle issues that are most likely lifelong. Yeah, I have like real bad restless leg now, and I get like real bad cramps in my legs, and my legs just be like, I don't know. It's not good. Not good. And PJ Media says Trump's White House timeline hits back on the renovation attacks. It's glorious. Democrat outrage over President Trump's construction is one of the sillier episodes in this ever-lengthening list of efforts to smear and destroy him. Leftists are acting if the White House has remained pristine and unchanged ever since it was issued from the hallowed hands of George Washington himself. Okay, they don't mention Washington. It wouldn't do to sully their narrative. They mention someone they think of only as a racist slave owner. In reality, presidents throughout history, including Bill Clinton and Barack Obama, have undertaken renovations at the White House, and no one minded. After all, they weren't Donald Trump. Now, however, Orange Man Bad once again has the temerity to fight back at WhiteHouse.gov, which not too long ago was the home of the Biden regime's dispirited cadre of transcript cleaners. The Trump administration has added a major events timeline to its section on the White House, and it's far, far more entertaining than you might expect. The timeline starts out with conventional history, so we went through all this stuff. Rebuilding after the War of 1812, and the timeline in the Oval Office. That's all very interesting, and in itself destroys the Democrat hysteria over the Trump's ballroom. But the timeline gets really interesting in it. Entries covering more recent White House history. One of them involves Bill Clinton's use of the Howard Taft's Oval Office. Muslim Brotherhood, yeah, we saw that. Cocaine and Trans Day. The message is as clear as it's devastating. If Democrats really cared about desecration of the White House, they would have vented their outrage against Clinton, Obama, and Biden for their genuine desecrations of the executive mansion, not against Trump for building a ballroom. It's really nuts. Hey, what the F? What's up, man? Who's I see bulging disc ratio and total hip replacement, major pelvic fractures, required stabilization surgery, broken sacrament, busted 6th rib. Oh, man. Member of the broken. Oh, God. Oh, God. There's some type of injection that they can supposed to rebuild and recreate the cushion between the discs. I'm not sure what it's called. Some doctor out of Texas. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. They have some new stuff. They have some new stuff that's supposed to really, really, really be good. And, And then Washington Post, not Washington Post, I'm sorry, New York Post, same story. White House trolls Dems over ballroom drama with Hunter Biden scandal timeline. The White House East Wing has been demolished. Americans react. I don't think it's been demolished.
This is just another upgrade. So I don't mind it. I think it's here
Let's hear some Americans react.
throughout the years they've done construction on the White House, different administrations, and this is just another upgrade. So I don't mind it. I think it's nice for our country.
I don't know what the purpose is, like what kind of functions they want in there as opposed to what the functionality of the structure was beforehand. It might be fine. I know Trump comes from a construction background. His father was in construction.
You're eating pierogi so hard it's to type fast. You're eating pierogi, so it's hard
Well,
to
if we
type
look
fast.
back at all the past presidents and all the construction that's been done with the past presidents, I think this is absolutely wonderful. We need a ballroom to host all the dignitaries, and from what I understand, the East Wing needed to be renovated as it was to begin with. So this is the perfect time to do it.
Yeah, and let's be honest, they're probably adding a new bunker, because the bunker that exists in the White House now was put in the 50s, I think, or 60s. And it's not adequate for modern nuclear weapons, so they're probably building a bunker that's going to be about 100 feet below, maybe 150, 200 feet below the surface. It's probably what they're doing. It's probably cover is really what's going on. Is there's probably a bunker going in. So I'm fine. All right, now we're going to jump to the big news story that broke like late last night, through today, that I didn't really know about last night. Yeah, Alameda, California, at approximately 10 p.m. Pacific time, so that would be like 1 a.m. where I'm at, 2 a.m. where I'm at. Yeah, where's the wrecking ball? It says endless. Yeah, no, they're just doing construction. You have to, when you do an addition, you have to break apart part of the building in order to add to the building. That's how it works. That's how that works. You know. This is the U-Haul story, yeah. This is the U-Haul story. That's a movie set, not the actual White House. Well, it's possible. It's the movie set. I don't know. You know, I mean, I was there, so I can't be 100% sure. But double check. And then Jim tells you, after what Trump did to Iran, would you blame him? Our bunker has to be better, much safer, much better. Yeah, you know. Well, luckily for Trump and the U.S. presidents, the U.S. is the only country that actually has those bunker buster type bombs, which, you know, maybe that's a good thing. Maybe. Could be a good thing. Something wrong with my picture here. What's going on? Oh yes. As usual, my settings got all jacked up again. Video. Okay. All right. Oh, what's this? I Am Bob comes in with, and I forgot when Brian gave that to do that. I Am Bob says at least Obama's basketball court is gone. Well, maybe. That and buildings codes have probably changed since the initial construction, and probably engineers involved. Yeah, I'm sure when it was originally built, I don't think there was any electricity. I'm pretty sure it was all like gas or kerosene lanterns and stuff like that. So now we are $67 away from the first additional hour, folks. $67 away from the first additional hour. I don't think it matters. They shot Trump in the face and gave him a message. Okay. Damn dog, treat withholding. I don't. I don't think so. Probably Tartarian, maybe. Yeah, no one. There's no dog today because we didn't. No one. As far as I know, no one gave a 25er there. But, I'll double check real quick. Nothing. I don't see nothing. Nope. Did the basketball court replace the swimming pool? Wouldn't that be racist? I'm not sure where the basketball court is. I think what happened was I think the first Trump administration built the tennis court over the basketball court. I think that's what happened. I'm not 100% sure. Tunnels and shit running all over the place underground. Yeah, there are tunnels. But let's just say anyway. So yeah, at approximately 10 p.m. on Thursday, Coast Guard security personnel standing watch on Coast Guard Island observed a vehicle driving erratically and attempting to weaponize the vehicle to ram into Coast Guard base Alameda. Oh, that's for what? Not every comment is for you, sadly. Okay, sorry. I'll try to pay more attention. Oh. Hey, Sharon, Tyler, what's up? Hello, Jim and the Jim Somniacs. Nice to see you. Hey, Miss Hacker, how you doing? Nice to see you tonight. So, U.S. Coast Guard personnel issued multiple verbal commands to stop the vehicle, and the driver failed to comply and proceeded to put the vehicle in reverse, suddenly accelerating backwards at a high rate of speed directly towards them when the vehicle's action posed a direct threat to the safety of the Coast Guard and security personnel. Law enforcement officers discharged several rounds of defensive live fire. Yes. Yeah. They lit it the fuck up. No Coast Guard personnel were injured. 2 civilians were injured and are expected to survive. The truck driver was wounded in the stomach, is being held for mental health evaluation. A bystander was struck by a fragment, treated at a local hospital, and released. The FBI is the lead agency for this investigation. We are coordinating with our law enforcement partners. Wait, I heard before there was a whole bunch of gunshots. So yeah, so that happened. The Coast Guard opens fire on a U-Haul at San Francisco base. Okay. All right. And this is the insurrections in the Bay Area are claiming that hundreds have showed to protest ICE is just a fraction of total resistance. Why is supporting illegal aliens so bad for Democrats? It's simple. They're all going home. So this I want to show you. This is earlier in the day. All right. And I think this is earlier in the day, and I think we're going to see that U-Haul.
Dozens of CHP officers wearing riot gear trying to disperse a crowd of protesters at the entrance to the Coast Guard station in Alameda. Several people detained and taken away.
No ICE! No KKK! No racist USA!
Earlier, hundreds of protesters.
Okay, did you see that? Look, right there. You see the U-Haul? There's the U-Haul that tried to ram. What was in the U-Haul? Nobody is saying what was in the U-Haul. It's possible. It's possible there was some kind of explosive device in there, or who knows what the guy was doing. But clearly the guy in the U-Haul is part of these demonstrations. He was part of all this stuff. So he was purposely trying to ram the gates. Coast Guard is a gentle service. Army and Marines would have climbed on a truck and emptied the magazine. Yeah. I'm actually shocked that they didn't have a squad automatic weapon there that didn't let loose. Like, they should have had 50 cals and stuff at the door. What if it was something trying to come in and you need a 50 cal to stop the truck? That's what should have been there. But see, there's the U-Haul. So don't let people say this was just like a random thing. It was an accident. The guy just went the wrong way. Nobody knew. The guy was there the whole time protesting.
The protesters were on the move outside the Coast Guard station. Early Thursday morning, demonstrators blocking the entrance to the base, preventing a convoy of Federal Customs and Border Patrol agents from getting through. Coast Guard security forces firing 2 flashbangs into the crowd. 2 protesters suffered injuries. One man had his foot run over. This pastor was injured by the flash.
You've got some blood on you. You're all wet.
I obviously was shot with whatever that border patrol has.
Oh, that's a reverend? That's a pastor? Look at this pastor. Wait. Hold on. Let's go back. I saw something very interesting there. How many pastors do you know that have sleeves of tattoos on their arms? Isn't that in the Bible? Isn't that in the Bible? Something about, like, maybe the 10 Commandments, something about graven images? U-Haul is under investigation. You've been being watched. The U-Haul was used to bring the signs in. Well, they were going to use it to ram the gate down, I guess. I'm just saying, the U-Haul was part of the demonstrations. Yeah, your body is a temple. Did I hear the person yelling as when they lit the U-Haul up? Yeah, there was a person yelling. Yeah, your body is a temple. Yes, it is. Yeah, good. Not a pastor. This is not a pastor.
Shot with whatever that border patrol has directly to my face.
It's not a pastor.
And I came to say we're here in peace and he didn't care. So.
I'm here to let ICE know that they're not welcome in our community and that we will resist and that we're...
Oh, you're going to resist? You're going to resist? Okay. Well, I'm glad you're going to resist. You are now under arrest for insurrection. It's what you're committing right now. It's called insurrection. You're seditious. This is what's a seditious conspiracy. You're trying to resist the lawful enforcement of federal law. This is what's called rebellion. These are crimes. You didn't see the full clip. Did they have the entrance barricaded up? Yeah, they had stuff at the entrance. They had Yeah, someone was yelling, "I'm hit, I'm hit." I think that was the person that got hit in the leg by a ricochet. Because, if 5.56, whatever, 223, 5.56, that stuff just breaks apart when it hits anything. Yeah, there's plenty of FEMA concentration camp space for these ones. Yes, there is. Yes, there is. You're raised Church of Christ, they don't have reverends. Yeah, well, this guy probably just made up his own church. This thing, like, I could go say, yeah, I'm a reverend. I'm the Reverend Don Magic Wand.
Small fraction of the resistance right now, and we will not stop. They're not welcome here. What they're doing is unconstitutional.
You have children being kidnapped. You don't care. You're here for the check.
ABC News confirming the agents are in the Bay Area as part of an immigration surge operation.
Oh, I wonder who made those signs.
Is not known.
Our president is using the federal government against our own people.
Oh, here's another one. Look, with the earrings and stuff. Huh. Another phony man of the cloth.
I think we need to stand up and make clear that that we won't stand for it.
Right, all these.
Oh, you won't stand for it. Okay.
Love for their community, love for their neighbors. I'm the child of immigrants, and so I have to come out here and be here for them.
In the wake of San Francisco Mayor Daniel Lurie's conversation with President Trump saying that he would no longer send federal agents to San Francisco, it's really unclear what the mission of the federal agents that arrived here in Alameda this morning will be going forward. In Oakland, Cornell Bernard, ABC 7 News.
Well, their mission is going to be to get the illegal aliens out of the country. That's their job. That's the law. Now, President Trump spoke to the mayor of San Francisco, and the mayor of San Francisco gave him his assurances that the police department in San Francisco was not going to interfere with the federal government executing the law, like Los Angeles did. Los Angeles interfered and caused problems. Great news, people, not investigating the people they are talking to. Yeah. This is what upsets me about Bonnie's DOJ. How long will it take Garland's DOJ to arrest all these people? Should have buses standing by in tents to process them all. I don't know what's going on. I mean, we got some stuff that's going to come a little later. Some stuff news. There's happenings. We'll see. We'll see. All right. We got this. It says leftoid goblins are now harassing the Coast Guard and calling them Nazis for not letting them block their base entrance. They came back last night and tried to ram a U-Haul through the gate, forcing the Coast Guard to open fire. Yeah, kidnapping children. Most of those kids were either taken from their families, kidnapped, or sold so they wouldn't be pimped out. Yeah. Yeah, there was a whole bunch of kids that wanted to go back to Guatemala. There were Guatemalan kids that were kidnapped, trafficked, like 600. And, the fucking ACLU sued to stop kids from going back to their parents. Yeah. Catholic Charities trafficking people? Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. Mm-hmm. Arrest every one of these terrorists. That's right. We need to start arresting terrorists. These are some goblins. Look at them.
This morning, it doesn't look good.
Back up, back up, back up, back up. Hey, back up.
Listen, you don't come up and tell them back up. Arrest that bitch right now. Arrest her right now. She comes storming up like that. I would be afraid that she was going to blow up or something. I would have to take her to the ground. Yep. Yes, I am sick of this shit too. These people need to be arrested. They need to be charged with sedition. They need to be charged with rebellion. They need to be charged with insurrection. Seditious conspiracy, 20 years, remember? That's what the guy got that didn't even go to Washington, that was not even in Washington, D.C. Enrique Tarrio got 20 years for seditious conspiracy. Oh, this looks like pretty seditious conspiracy to me. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and remember that the Coast Guard isn't even getting paid. They have to deal with this. Yeah. The human trafficking rabbit hole goes incredibly deep. A lot of politicians are involved. A lot of billionaires and celebrities. Yeah. You're foreseeing a shift towards martial law type of situation, implementation of a real ID global system, sadly. Yeah, well, the Democrats are trying to force Trump's hand to either give up and not enforce the law and just let him get away with this shit, or he's going to have to actually invoke the Insurrection Act and start arresting these politicians who are actively conspiring to thwart and overthrow the government. I mean, you cannot plot and conspire to violate the law the way they're doing and the shit they're doing. It's illegal. It's a crime. Mm-hmm. Yeah. The military professional must be maintained, paid or not. If not, they have to go. That's right. Yeah. The professional that's why we have a professional military. And we got video from the KPIX photojournalist Rick Villamarone, shows a U-Haul driver backing up towards a line of officers outside the base before officers opened fire. This was hours after almost all protesters were dispersed, awaiting an update from police. This is all military and DHS are being paid. $130 million donation came in to make sure of it. You mean it's from their own mouths? Oh, I know. That's what they want. That's what the Democrats want. And then they could say, he's a authoritarian tyrant. We'll watch this again, because why not? Now, the only thing I could think is that they thought maybe it could be a VBIED, a vehicle-borne improvised explosive device, so they did not approach, that they were waiting, because that's exactly what happens overseas, is vehicles come loaded with bombs, and they approach the gate and blow up and kill a bunch of people. That happens all the time, so they had to treat it like that's what it was. they can't go, well, it's just an idiot. It's just a retard. All 06 to 010 pay should be stopped to pay the troops. Definitely. The guy's wearing a mask, so you know what's up. He's all in black. So, yeah, basic fire guard duty. Yeah. Trans punks live in those U-Haul vans. Yeah. Yeah. One very stupid person bring a U-Haul to a guard gate. Yeah. Don't do that. Yeah. And each time we see this happen, then the government will have to level up. Yeah. You know. Yeah, the Coast Guard needs more training. They missed that guy. I would not have missed, believe me. It sounded like that was all small arms fire. Like, I mean, really small, like a lot of handguns and probably some ARs. But, you know, they need heavy weapons at the gate. They should have a 50 or at least a 249B or something. You know, I mean, a saw is like, but I mean, a 249B would have done that, would have chewed that up. And a 50 would have stopped it. You're going through Belloc withdrawal. Belloc withdrawal. Well, you know, I don't care. I would not have missed with a freaking 9mm. Okay, well, saying if you didn't have if you didn't have an angle of a shot though, it's kind of hard. You know, I mean, there's actually, but those U-Haul trucks are very thin. It's just like plywood, I think, and very thin aluminum and plywood, if I'm not mistaken, like a thin layer of aluminum on top of plywood. I don't think it's number 17, dinger for 2. I don't know what that means. Yeah, the guy did get hit. I think he got. Oh, okay. You're watching the game. All right. I get it now. Dinger for 2. I get it now. Yeah, they did get hit. The guy did get hit. He took one, I think, in the stomach or something like that. But yeah, he got hit, went to the hospital. Three people. Okay. This says they've caught them. The dude was hit. That's why he stopped, probably assessing whether he should seek medical attention immediately or run. He decided to run, but went to the hospital. What a dumbass. Hope they throw the book at him. Yeah. U-Haul incident at the base leads to officer involved shooting. We saw this. Okay, so seeing multiple reports attempted vehicular manslaughter with later gunshots from the drivers. No, it's not the drivers. And he doubt the officials want to take a chance and approach. This might not be why the perpetrators thought using the trailer of the U-Haul as a shield only to backfire. Big enough truck. Remember Oklahoma City? They waited until most protesters left before they tried. Could have been something in a truck. We don't know yet. Yeah. This is all commercial for the AI police state. Most of the stuff is connected through the Soros-funded NGOs, and Larry Ellison is taking over. Voting is more of a marketing test for how to frame their agendas. It's bad at planning. That guy did wave off the driver. You seen that, right? He said, don't screw up my engine block. Well, so I'm saying a Ma Deuce, if they would have had a Ma Deuce on a Humvee or something right there, or a 40 Mike, trying to think what it's called. They have like a machine gun, automatic 40mm cannon that they run off those pop 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 grenade, like a grenade launcher. I can't think what it's called at this time. And this says Yeah. And this is Gavin Newsom, Hochul, and Prickster had many Democrat politicians are giving permission for violence and attacks against law enforcement of any kind. They don't care that people end up in jail or dead, but they amass power and money. That's all good. All that matters for Democrats. Yeah, come on, man. A 40 yeah, 40 millimeter. They have a 40 millimeter, a grenade launcher. Basically, it's like a some bitch, man. You're gonna have to look it up. They have them like on Humvees. They'll have them on the top of a Humvee. They'll have either a 50 cal or have shit. What is it? It's not the same. It's not. It doesn't fire the same rounds. Jim is talking about disintegrating the truck. Yeah, blow the truck up. Why not? Mark 19. That's right. Mark 19. Yes, Mark 19. Exactly. Mark 19. Collateral damage. Take out the whole city block. Being a protest. You know, collateral damage is a thing. You know. A world without God gives you Democrats and leftists. This guy says, NC Scout, Brush Beater says, just after the Beirut bombing anniversary, how about that? Shots fired at the Coast Guard base in Alameda. Yeah, a Mark 19 will make your day go rad really quick. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. You can take down a Mark 19 can take down a building if you hit it enough times. It would be entertaining and hilarious. That's what I'm saying. I mean, I'm just saying, if they thought it was a truck filled with explosives coming to blow them up, at that point, all bets are off. You know, FAFO law enforcement. Saying law enforcement opens fire on U-Haul truck. I don't think that was law enforcement. I think that was Coast Guard base security. They're saying backs up into a line of police officers. I mean, was it the cops or was it the Coast Guard? Law enforcement opened fire on a U-Haul truck after a driver decided it was a good idea to back his truck in a police line outside of the U.S. Coast Guard base in Alameda, California. The incident took place after hours of protesting outside the Coast Guard base where ICE workers are staying. Also, they're protesting there because ICE workers are staying on the base. Eyewitnesses say the driver had been hanging out in the area all day before suddenly backing up his U-Haul and accelerating towards police, prompting gunfire. It's federal forces? Okay. Protesters reportedly screamed for him to stop moments before shots rang out. I don't know. Did you guys hear anyone scream for him to stop? I didn't hear anybody scream for him to stop. Yes. Trumpinator says, let's get Jim to go. Because he can't do it on his own. That's right. I can't do it on my own. Thank you, Trumpinator. With that 5, that puts us at $62 away. $62 away from the first extra hour and Bell Vision. Mark 19 was your favorite gun to fire in the Marines? That's what I'm saying. Or at least a Mod Deuce. They should have, I mean, think about it. You should have had something that could stop a vehicle. If you're at the entrance of a base, you need to have a weapon that could actually stop a vehicle. Only makes sense. The abandoned U-Haul was later found full of bullet holes, but no blood. Democrat leaders have been promoting violence against ICE officials who are doing their job, arresting and deporting illegal aliens from the country. Homeland Security released the following statement at approximately 10 p.m. on Thursday. Coast Guard security personnel standing watch on Coast Guard Island observed a vehicle driving erratically and attempting to weaponize the vehicle to ram into Coast Guard base Alameda. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Navy and Coast Guard bases are awesome, great places to stay, good food, movie theater, bowling alley, suite. Yeah, they have everything on the base you could ever. We need to find out who rented the U-Haul and find out who paid the renter. Yeah. ROE doesn't allow for heavy weapons. Maybe Hexeth can change that dumb shit. I mean, all it's going to take is one vehicle to crash through and go boom, and then they're going to have to. I mean, why wait? Why do we always do everything afterwards? You know, we're always closing the barn door after the horse gets out. Why? Why aren't we thinking forward and saying, hey, we need to be able to stop the vehicle? Like, I mean, if I was in charge, there would be at least one javelin sitting there. You know, that way you could stop whatever vehicle comes at you. You know, especially in these days, you know, they could have an armored vehicle. They could have, you know, SUV that's armored up. You know, they rely on the barricades installed by the gates. I would rely on a javelin. You know, maybe a law rocket. I don't know. I mean, those are old, but something. Yeah, never let a good tragedy go to waste, Rahm Emanuel. One word: civilians. Oh, no. We already let the sympathy for the devil crowd into our government. Yeah. The personnel issued multiple verbal commands to stop the vehicle. The driver failed to comply and proceeded to put his vehicle in reverse, suddenly accelerating backward at a high rate of speed directly towards them. When the vehicle's action posed a direct threat, the safety of Coast Guard and security personnel, law enforcement officers discharged several rounds of defensive live fire. Damn, Jim, you're worse than me, a javelin. I like your style. Well, I mean, I just know it's going to work. I mean, it's going to stop whatever comes at it. You know, javelin's going to stop it. What if these protesters broke into an army, you know, like a National Guard armory or something, and stole a tank? Even if it's an old tank, like a Patton or something. What if they got a Patton? You know, like that. What was that called? Turk 182, right? Was it Turk 182, or what was the other one, or Tank, or whatever the movie I'm thinking of? If you have a familiar with the Bernays, they have a record for engineering protests. Heck, we see it today too. Yeah. They started torching the mines in our grade schools. It took decades to perfect. Yeah, but here we are. No Coast Guard personnel were injured during the incident. 2 civilians were injured and are expected to survive. The truck driver was wounded in the stomach and is being held for a mental health evaluation. Yeah, no, Joe McCarthy was 100% right. Yeah, what if Killdozer showed up? They should have a javelin. You know. A bystander was struck by a fragment, treated at the local hospital and released. The FBI is investigating. It's the lead agency, and they're coordinating with law enforcement partners. So we read this, saw that. Law enforcement opened fire at a driver backing U-Haul truck into the line of police. You're distantly direct bloodline descendant of Richard Jordan Gatlin. Miniguns for the win. Oh, yeah, I mean, yeah, an M134 or something like that would have stopped that up nice, but, you know. Or something bigger, maybe. Take one of those Sea Whizzes, but, you know, Phalanx, but they have it mounted. They have Phalanxes mounted on vehicles now. Put one of those there. With the shooting 30 millimeter depleted uranium tipped rounds. That'll stop anything. Yeah, the Vulcan. Yeah. Well, the Vulcan is what they call it on an airplane. When it's on the airplane, they call it the Phalanx. That doesn't miss. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. With the like Sea Whiz, you know, CWIS or a Phalanx or a Vulcan. The Vulcan's a little bit bigger, I think. I think that shoots the Vulcan is what's on like the A-10 Warthog, and that's has a bigger bullet than what is that's an anti-tank thing, and the Sea Whiz is more to shoot down missiles and stuff like that in planes. But I think it's a little different. But hey, either one would work. I mean, hell, man, why don't they just get a AC-130 Spectre gunship to circle overhead and just Yeah. A Spooky, yeah. Spectre, Spooky. The Spectre are the new ones. The Spookies were the older ones. The Alameda Coast Guard facility outside of Oakland. Members are reportedly staying on the island, so left the Stugs protest and harassed the police during the day. And late at night, some genius decided to back a U-Haul truck into the police line. Just briefly touch on, you know, while video shows security shoot at the U-Haul truck heading backwards. It's all this stuff. Dramatic footage shows dangerously close officer responded to a barrage of gunfire. He just hit the gas and sped towards them, the photographer said. The masked driver then floored the truck forward before stopping and appearing to look at his phone in front of protesters for driving off. Witness said the truck also struck 2 bystanders. Also saying the truck struck 2 bystanders. Yeah, these Queens teen clinging to life after getting stabbed by gang that steals his $340 shoes in broad daylight. And then on the same front, we got 2 more ICE agents are now hospitalized after another vehicle ramming attack in Arizona. The Democrat Party has marked federal agents for death, and their followers are targeting them. They need to arrest George Soros and all the other bastards. Didn't hear that part. I never got to call an AC-130, but did have 12 Cobra helicopters and went to Basra. This is an insurrection. It says CWIS was installed by a palace where Petraeus was in Iraq. That thing scared me. It's an impressive beauty. Yeah. We used to call it R2D2 because that's what it looked like on a ship, like R2D2. That thing would just go on its own, man. When you set to auto. Mm-hmm.
When ICE agents here in Avondale tried to stop a car with a man or 2 men that they were interested in. Homeland Security says this all started when those 2 officers tried to stop that car. They say the driver then kept going to their home, which is in this area here in Avondale. Homeland says when they got to that home, the 2 people in that car rammed into the officer's car. They got out and ran inside, which created this barricade situation. Now, eventually, ICE agents, we were told, arrested who they were looking for. When ICE agents here in Avondale tried
They arrested who they were looking for. They now have multifaceted targets on their back. Insurrection Act now. Yes. Law and order will triumph in Chicago. Yesterday, Border Patrol agents conducted an enforcement operation till 27th and Whipple. A large crowd of 75 to 100 riders. Whipple is like 4 or 5 streets east of Kedzie. It's in between Kedzie and Western. A large crowd of 75 to 100 riders surrounded law enforcement who set up a perimeter after agents were boxed in by a large box truck. Large box truck. Riders then shot at agents with commercial artillery shell fireworks. Hey, fireworks are illegal in Illinois. Didn't anybody tell them that? It's against the law to have fireworks in Illinois? Border Patrol transport van carrying illegal aliens attempted to get to safety of the perimeter, but was then attacked. Border Patrol agents were able to secure the van and get into the perimeter. The mob of riders grew more hostile and violent, advancing towards agents and began throwing rocks and other objects at agents, including one that struck Chief Greg Bavino in the head. Border Patrol agents repeated multiple warnings to back up and that chemical agents would be deployed if warnings were ignored. Riot control measures were deployed, including by Chief Bavino, and arrests were made. Agents properly used their training. The use of chemical munitions was conducted in full accordance with CBP policy and was necessary to ensure the safety of both law enforcement and the public. The reason they're saying this is because earlier today, our partner Alejandro was on the ground in a little village near the intersection of 27th and Whipple. Awareness of ICE activity prompted the rapid response networks to mobilize to the scene. Anybody that's a member of a rapid response network to come do this is a fucking insurrectionist, needs to be arrested. Charge anybody in the network with seditious conspiracy. ICE deployed at least 5 canisters of gas, according to the witness. Too bad it wasn't Zyklon fucking B. According to witnesses, this is the second clash of the week following an event that occurred in the city Wednesday morning.
Fuck y'all, we're all standing
We don't need
Oh, shit.
your help. We don't need your help. We don't need your help. We don't need your help.
Yeah, where are all the old folks who are in the No Kings parade? These are all young whippersnappers. Yeah. This is all being organized. Like, this stuff that's happening in Chicago is being organized by the like La Raza and by like Casa and all these communist, Marxist, Hispanic organizations and the SEIU union and the politicians. And these people are probably, a lot of them are gang members that are affiliated with cartels. And that's what it is. I mean, Chicago is a major transshipment point for drugs from the cartels. And basically, the gangs are all subservient to the cartels now in Chicago. And that's who pretty much controls it. And I wouldn't be shocked if a bunch of the aldermen and city council members in Chicago are owned by the cartels or cartel members. You got to step away and fry me up some grilled sleaze sandwiches. Yeah, our streets where we get shot, Yeah, we need 3 teams: arrest city council, police, and mayor. That's right. Let's see, is this another one? So here we go. So we got some Chicago police officers basically like this. They're not stopping the people. They're just letting them walk right by them. That's kind of, they're not doing their job. Almost like they're working with them. Oh, yeah, flying Mexican flags. That's a great way to say that you're not an American. You forget a few details. Homeland speaks for itself. I'm merely reporting the incident. Federal agents enforcing immigration law in Chicago are confronting coordinated, violent resistance that undermines public safety. Oh, no, I didn't see that. It says, did you see the story of the burning hanged man hanging from the freeway in Houston? Looks just like you see in Mexico. Just search up Ice Watch. Well, Reddit could have itself a problem if they're letting that happen on their platform. They could be prosecuted just like they went after Backpage. You can't openly allow felonies to happen on your stuff without, Oh, Hank says, about time for me to hit The Hague. Good night, everyone. Thanks, Jim. Well, thanks, Hank. Thanks for stopping by. I hope you feel better, man. I hope your whole hernia thing works out good. You feel better. Yeah, when a lawless mob surrounds officers, deploys artillery-grade fireworks, and attacks a transport van, chemical missiles become a necessary tool to protect both the agents and the bystanders. The real issue is sanctuary policies embolden criminal networks. While ICE targets those with deportation orders, many link to serious crimes. Resistance groups framing enforcement as terror ignore the chaos they themselves are creating. Blocking streets and pushing vans and assaulting federal personnel is not activism, it's criminal obstruction. Chicago's refusal to cooperate with ICE forces agents into reactive, high-risk operations. Until local leaders prioritize order over performative defiance, these clashes will escalate. Lawful enforcement isn't the problem. The problem is a culture that treats border laws as optional. Restore respect for federal authority and watch the violence dissolve. Yes. Yes, we need some 60s style crowd control to make a comeback. Yeah. We need some good old wood shampoo to be passed out. A little wood shampoo for you, a little wood shampoo for you, and everyone will straighten right out. Yeah, they will have a major issue if Reddit. I mean, that there's people looking into it from what I can read through the lines. There's stuff happening behind the scenes. People, letters have been sent warning people. Now, what happens with that, I don't know. But then we still have this. We have shameful propaganda from CNN continuing to provide air cover for the anarchists attacking American law enforcement. Here are the facts. A mob of rioters shot at our agents with commercial-grade artillery shell fireworks and struck Greg Bovino in the head. Thankfully, he was not seriously injured. Let's see what the propaganda is from CNN.
Right here in this video, you can see Border Patrol Chief Gregory Bovino appearing to throw a tear gas canister toward anti-ICE protesters on Thursday. So right here, we're freezing the video so you can see it more clearly. As the protesters run away, the camera shows a cloud of smoke in that area. The Department of Homeland Security says protesters threw rocks, prompting Bovino to throw that canister of tear gas. And in a statement, they say, quote, the use of chemical munitions was conducted in full accordance with CBP policy and was necessary to ensure the safety of both law enforcement and the public. Right here in this video, you can see Border Patrol Chief Gregory Bovino appearing.
Salty C says that I saw a video of a veteran who was enraged and cut down the ropes on a flagpole. The shop owner was flying the flag of Mexico over the U.S. flag. Yeah, I don't have any tolerance for people. If you hate America, get out. Love. Man, that was an old saying back in the '60s. So, love it or leave it, man. You don't love it, leave it. Of course, CNN refuses to mention that rioters hit Chief Bovino in the head with a rock, which could have been deadly. Yeah, so I think it was the same video we just watched.
A judge's restraining order in Chicago. A judge's restraining order in Chicago. Right here in this video, you can see.
The judge's restraining order. So yeah, a judge told a restraining order that they're not allowed to defend themselves. Good. So 3 ICE officers were injured yesterday in San Diego after a violent criminal alien from Kuwait tried to escape arrest by ramming law enforcement vehicles. He narrowly missed an innocent bystander before crashing into government cars. ICE says the repeat offender has a final deportation order and is wanted in Kuwait. Love it or leave it, your dad's favorite saying. Oh, look at that. Oh, yeah, looks like a crash right there. Huh. Official ICE statement. The 3 federal officers were injured today. After a violent criminal alien from Kuwait with a final order of deportation from the United States rammed into law enforcement vehicles while trying to evade arrest in San Diego. This illegal criminal alien who is wanted in his home country of Kuwait and who has a violent criminal history weaponized his vehicle to narrowly miss hitting an innocent bystander and striking ICE officers before crashing into multiple government vehicles. His blatant disregard for human life and the rule of law is exactly why ICE San Diego will continue to pursue, arrest, and remove dangerous illegal aliens who threaten our communities. The officers and a legal alien were treated at a local hospital. ICE will pursue criminal charges against this Kuwaiti national for assaulting, resisting, opposing, and impeding federal officers. This is another unfortunate example of the continued misinformation and unjust rhetoric against ICE, empowering individuals to flee and assault federal officers conducting lawful enforcement actions in accordance with applicable congressionally approved federal law. attributable to the field office director, Patrick Diver, ICE Enforcement and Removal Operations, San Diego. Oh, well, Jay Lee got says, happy to report we survived the North Tees storm. Good to hear. Why are Kuwaitis even in this country to begin with? And there's probably reasons why there's Kuwaitis. Let's be honest. And this story, which I thought is kind of like one of the things, like a news crew security guard working in Alameda, California, was assaulted by the anti-ICE protesters. So here's a guy. He's not, he's not a cop. He's not a Fed. He's just a security guard, working for the reporters.
Kept asking me where I was going and stepping in front of me.
You didn't identify yourself as a Trump supporter or supporting ICE or...
See, I hate that they do this. They purposely play music to try and get people so they can copyright strike people and get the videos taken down.
I support neither.
Okay. That makes no sense to me. I'm sorry, man.
I appreciate that.
Do you need us to call somebody? You should report this.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at him. It's all bloody. Yeah, report it. I mean, his hand's all jacked up, too. I mean, he got beat pretty good. Look at the cuts on his hand. He was in a pretty big fight. Yeah, so.
What happened, sir? Would you like me to call 911?
Yeah, would you like me to call 911? You know what happened to the camera? But this is like this. It's like, did you identify yourself as a Trump supporter or supporting ICE? So it's like, oh, if you're a Trump supporter in California, this is okay. I guess. This is acceptable to get this beat like this if you're a Trump supporter or if you support ICE in California. He says, no, I don't support either. I support neither. Oh, well, guess what, buddy? You lay down with dogs, you get fleas. Have a nice fucking day. CNN is once again demonizing our immigration officials. Rioters hit Chief Bovino in the head with a rock, which could have killed him. But of course, CNN left that part out of the story. Yeah. Saw this. Bias you can count on. First to report, first to distort. CNN. Bella. Okay, well, I don't know. I don't see anything for Bella. Look. No, nothing on Cash App. Nothing on PayPal. So, no Bella. Nothing on Rumble. His friends beat him. Yeah, he did. Mr. Sharkman, I'd love to play Bella, but Bella doesn't get out of bed for free. She's a paid paid performer. Yeah. I support neither is a very educated response. Not I support both, which is death. Hey, Trumpinator, what's up? What's up, Pat? So, yeah, I don't know, Mr. Sharkman, if someone wants Bella. Bella's a working girl. Got to get paid. Okay, here we go. Attorney General Pam Bondi has just ordered Nancy Pelosi to preserve her emails after she ordered ICE to be arrested. Pam Bondi, you're impeding an investigation and we will charge you. If you think I won't, you have not met me.
You cannot disclose the identity of a federal agent, where they live, anything that could harm them. Pritzker same ball game with him. And you know,
Only dog
Pelosi
page?
got a letter today from Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche. So did Brooke Jenkins, that DA in San Francisco. We told them, preserve your emails, preserve everything you have on this topic, because if you are telling people to arrest our ICE officers, our federal agents, you cannot do that. You're impeding an investigation, and we will charge them if they think they have not met me, because we will charge them if they are violating the law. We will protect our federal agents. They're out there working nonstop, as you're showing right now during a shutdown. These people are out there working to keep Californians safe, yet you've got Pelosi out there saying to obstruct their investigation. You can't do it, and we're going to investigate her now as well as that DA. You cannot disclose.
Yeah, unfortunately, Joe, I think you might be right. Bonnie ain't gonna do shit to Pelosi. It's all bark no bite. I mean, Sunshine says for $5.99, $4.99. That's all I've got. Bella's too pricey. I appreciate it. Every little bit helps. Thank you very much. And with that, it brings it down to $57. So we're $57 away from both an extra hour and Bellavision, unless somebody does a $25 donation or greater. 57 now away from an extra hour and Bellavision. If I was in ICE, I would start asking for hazardous pay, since the AG will not get rid of these people who are making the job dangerous. How will she know if they preserve them? Well, I don't know. I mean, somebody else might have them, but generally speaking, if it's an email, any type of electronic communications, text messages, stuff like that, that stuff never goes away. You know, even if you destroy the phones with hammers like Hillary Clinton did, they can still be gotten to. Oh, Brian Agnes is making an even 55. Okay, will do. Even 55 it is. Congressional emails are archived. Yeah. Metadata. Yeah. Let's make it an even 55. Okay, so it's an even 55 now. Thank you very much. This is AG Pam Bondi announces investigations into Illinois Governor J.B. Fatslob Prickster, Lori Lightfoot Beetlejuice, and others for targeting ICE agents. Lightfoot Beetlejuice immediately instructed to preserve all documents related to her actions. It appears she is violating the law. You cannot disclose the identity of a federal agent, where they live. Pritzker, the same ball game. You're telling people to arrest our officers. You're impeding them. We will charge you. They think I won't. You haven't met me. Wait, is this the same interview? I think it's the same interview. When she was talking about them. AG Bonnie is right to investigate Prickster and Beetlejuice for obstructing federal law enforcement. Oh, wait, it's Brian's birthday? Oh, happy birthday, Brian. Happy birthday to you. Everybody all together now. Ready? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Brian. Happy birthday to you. Daniel Gagak says you should have had Bella on Joe during Joe's show. Bella is more famous than Jim. I had Bella on and I got yelled at. I had Bella on. Thank you very much. And now we're $50 away from the first additional hour and Bellavision. Yeah, effing people and these fireworks. Happy birthday, Brian. Brian goes, no. Here's a cake for you. Blow out the candle. Yeah. AG Bondi is right to investigate Prickster and Beetlejuice for obstructing federal law enforcement. The no anonymity in the Immigration Enforcement Act mandates ICE agents' identification during operation unless facing imminent threats. Disclosing agents' identities or locations violates federal law and endangers officers executing lawful warrants. Hey, Jim. Hey, y'all. It's just John Solis Jr. says, happy birthday, Brian. Joe doesn't like dogs. Yeah, it's weird, right? You know, Steve Hiller says happy birthday. Oh my God, it's Cinco de Mayo, my birthday. What? Pat Hacker says that they don't believe in pets? Really? No. What? DHS reports confirm ICE arrested over 1,000 criminal illegal aliens in Chicago, including gang members and violent offenders. Politicians weaponizing state power to sabotage immigration enforcement. They aren't resisting, they're enabling chaos. Yo, what's up, Spuds? How you doing? Sunshine? Nah, Joe's all right. Well, yeah, what's that with Joe's weirdness about dogs? I don't know. It was kind of weird. Protect the protectors. Oh, no, my birthday is May 5th, hence the 55. Oh, okay, all right. May 5th, 5-5, all right. 5x5? You're coming in, 5x5, Brian. Joe wants a dog, but his wife says no. If you know, you know. Oh, okay. Is that what it is? He's jealous? Now I feel bad that he's jealous that he can't have a dog like Bella. Oh, I'm really jealous that he can't have a dog like Bella. That's terrible. Look at her just laying there all pretty. This is the way. Also, we at America First Legal will be proud to represent in any subsequent civil action any federal official arrested by state or local officials while performing their official duties. Arrest an ICE officer doing their job equals massive liability. We will win. The politicians are owned by the cartels, therefore they need to be arrested as well. Yes, arrest them all. Yes. Bella sit, young Bella sit, Bella stand, good girl, good dog. California politicians want to arrest federal agents for enforcing federal law. We sent them a letter. Stand down or face prosecution. No one threatens our agents. Nobody puts baby in a corner. And nobody will stop us from making America safe again. They sent it to Rob Bonta, Nancy Pelosi, and Brooke Jenkins. Since federal agents, officers, and prosecutors work tirelessly every day to advance the public safety mission set forth by President Trump and the Attorney General Bondi. Despite receiving no pay during this current government shutdown, federal agents and officers across all 4 federal districts in California consider to put themselves in harm's way to keep Americans safe. Rather than supporting and working with federal law enforcement professionals, California politicians, including Representative Pelosi and DA Brooke Jenkins, have instead called for state and local law enforcement officials to arrest federal agents and officers for enforcing federal laws enacted by the U.S. Congress, including federal immigration laws. The Department of Justice views any arrest of a federal agent and officer in the performance of their official duties as both illegal and futile. Numerous federal laws prohibit interfering with and impeding immigration and other law enforcement operations. So, all these stuff obstructing. Further, the Supremacy Clause of Article 6 of the Constitution precludes a federal officer from being held on a state criminal charge where the alleged crime arose during the performance of their federal duties. The Justice Department will investigate and prosecute any state or local official who violates these federal statutes or directs or conspires with others to violate them. See, that's the thing. They'll say it, and then if a cop does it, they'll say, well, we didn't really mean for them to do it. We didn't say it can't get us because we're politicians. We say it, but no. They'll say it's a conspiracy. Hey, Eastwind Farms, what's up, buddy? Nice for you to stop by. Thanks. Good seeing you. So we urge you and your other California elected scumbag commies to publicly abandon this apparent criminal conspiracy, to stop threatening law enforcement, and to prioritize the safety of your citizens. In the meantime, federal agents and officers will continue to enforce federal law and will not be deterred by the threat of arrest by California communists who have abdicated their duty to protect their constituents. Oh, my birthday was yesterday. A gunnery sergeant ruined it for me on my 21st birthday when he said he lost a lot of good friends that day. Me and Barracks bombing. Oh, my God. Well, it was a sad day in the Corps. But I will say, Tasmanian Rebel, happy birthday. Let Jim tell you happy birthday. Top DOJ official warns Newscomb and Pulaski they will face arrest and prosecution over the threat to arrest ICE agents. Yeah. Nancy Pelosi openly threatening to arrest ICE agents. Our state and local authorities may arrest federal agents if they break California law, and if they are convicted, the president cannot pardon them. This lady has been in Congress for 50 fucking years, and she doesn't know that she's acting like she doesn't know how it works. What? Mm-hmm. And like Harmeet Dillon says, FAFO. Because he says, careful, Governor Prickster. This applies to you too. Federal law, federal authority, federal consequences. Mm-hmm. 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 This is acting U.S. Attorney Bill Aseli says that a preservation of demand was just issued by the Department of Justice to California elected officials. We will not tolerate threats to arrest federal agents engaged in enforcing immigration laws enacted by Congress. If you touch our agents, you will be arrested. Mm-hmm. Mike Davis says, Dear Governor Prickster, translation, obstruct federal agents, your fat ass goes to prison. Mm-hmm. And he says, Dear Gavin Newscomb, translation, arrest federal agents, become a prison bitch. Mm-hmm. Like Cash going after Stephen A. Cash Patel went after Stephen A. Smith? Is that who you're talking about? Or Stephen Avery? No free Bellicam. No free Bellicam. Unfortunately, no free Bellicam. Stephen A. Smith? No shit. I'll have to look in. I didn't see it. Critter Center says, howdy, y'all. Hit the thumbs up, please, and thanks. Enjoy listening to Jim. Maybe Bella will show herself soon. Well, it's all up to the chat. It's all up to you guys, the viewers, the watchers. Got Illinois Alderman Timothy Knudsen, sent a Democrat. No, Bella has not left the building. Bella is here. She's here. She just, Bella Cam is a set fee. What it is, Illinois Alderman Timothy Knudsen sent out a doxing email, live locations to alert illegal aliens of ICE operations. This helps illegal aliens evade arrest and puts agents in harm's way. Charge him. Yeah, charge this clown. It says, this guy, 43rd Ward Public Service Office. Dear neighbors, today community members of the 43rd Ward have reported ICE sightings and suspected enforcement activity in the following locations: Cleveland, Belden, 2600 North Racine, 440 West Belden. Reports of 2 unmarked SUVs driving north on Halsted with masked drivers. Lincoln and Racine Diversey. Racine Drummond, Lille Seminary, Wrightwood, and Racine. The 43rd Ward stands united to defend every law-abiding person's right to live free from intimidation and deportation threats. What to do if you serve ICE? Yeah, this clown needs to be arrested immediately. Arrest him. Make a fucking example out of some of these people. The only citizens ICE arrests are those violently assaulting and obstructing them. Or illegally harboring criminal fugitives. Goldman apparently thinks ICE should let rioters and domestic terrorists impede and attack them. Nobody's suggesting ICE agents should be arrested for properly doing their job, but when they arrest U.S. citizens without a warrant or probable cause, they're not doing their job. When somebody attacks a federal officer, that's all the fucking probable cause you need. You throw a rock at a cop, they don't need to go get a warrant. Yeah. In a world full of chaos, Bella follows the rules. Bella needs it to dollar bills, y'all. You have a dog that looks very similar to Bella too. Oh, thanks, Mama Pillow. ICE operates under federal authority to enforce immigration law, not to target citizens. Per ICE's own guidelines, warrantless arrests apply only to immigration violations, not citizens. Goldman's hypotheticals ignore reality. ICE agents prioritize public safety and documented protocols. The Castana Nava settlement already mandates strict documentation for warrantless arrests in key states, ensuring accountability. Stephen M. is correct. ICE focuses on criminal aliens and those obstructing enforcement. Claims of assault during arrest are unsubstantiated when ICE's use of force policies prioritize de-escalation. The real issue is politicians weaponizing isolated incidents to undermine lawful enforcement while violent unrest spikes. ICE's mission isn't optional, it's federal law. Bella dances like an Asian stripper. If you know, I know. If you know, you know, you know. Do you know? If you know? If you know, you don't know. If you know, you don't know. Don't do it. The Democrat Party is organized around 3 essential commands. The U.S. cannot restrict the entry of any foreign national into our country. The U.S. cannot remove any foreign national from our country, and anyone who rejects Command 1 or 2 is a fascist. The problem is, even federal courts in Illinois is full of leftists. Anyone arrested will be out. Then you start arresting the judges, too. If the judges start letting people go for the seditious conspiracy, then the judges are obviously participating in the seditious conspiracy. And everyone's favorite president, the guy they all like to champion, Abraham Lincoln, well, he had no problem arresting corrupt judges. Well said and true. Joe Biden literally campaigned in 2020 on letting illegal immigrants who get arrested for DUI stay in the country. That's what he promised to do. And that's what he did as president. That's what he did as president. All right.
We're not going to deport anybody who, in fact, has not in this country committed a felony. In this country committed a felony. I would hold ICE agents accountable if, in fact, they stepped over my executive orders, which is no arrest of anyone outside of their school.
So how do you change the culture?
You change the culture by saying you're going to get fired. You're fired if, in fact, you do that. You're
fired for upholding federal law.
For the purpose of dealing with a felony that's committed, and I don't count drunk driving as a felony.
Oh, really? So he is responsible for faithfully executing the fucking laws of the country. Where does it say that that's the law? That we only deport felons? That's something he just made up. He actually should have been, if that's what he was doing and he's violating the law, he should have been impeached for it. Yep. Prince of Air says, and now the judges aren't even getting paid. That's right. A lot of courts, they had to close down a lot of courthouses because there's no money. They had to suspend a bunch of cases. I got this. Breaking news. The Illinois State Rep Margaret Croquet just sent out an email doxing ICE and listed their car details and license plate numbers. She's putting a target on agents' backs and helping illegal aliens evade arrest. This is absolutely disgraceful. Yeah, Joe was a king. Yeah, for 4 years. Yeah. Yeah, for 4 years he was a king that did whatever the fuck he wanted. He just made the laws up as he went along. Yeah, DUI no longer a problem, Joe Biden. That's right. Yeah, so all the people who were murdered by illegal alien drunk drivers, Joe Biden don't give a fuck about you. All the people getting killed by illegal alien CDL drivers, Democrats don't give a fuck about none of you. Democrats don't give a fuck about anybody except for their new slaves that they're importing into the country. Oh, look, ICE update vehicle, Illinois Rep, District 12, hotlines. To report ICE activity, locate a person in ICE custody or connect with an attorney. For mental health support, my office is always here as a resource. If you see something recorded, it might help protect someone from either being picked up off the street or unnecessarily and forcibly handled by ICE agents. Giving out the plates and everything like that. We witnessed across neighborhoods and across our city, ICE conducting their unlawful and undemocratic actions. What the fuck is she talking about undemocratic? They're supposed to take a vote on if someone gets deported? including the very block I reside in. Oh, look at there she is with the fat slob prickster. Arrest this fucking twat, too. I'm sorry about swearing, but man, I just can't handle it sometimes. Sick. Democrat Texas Rep Yolande Jones says she's going to come for the next and wipe out every Republican. Yeah, I can see why DUIs aren't an issue for Joe. How would Hunter drive? Sorry, wrong one. Yeah. How would Hunter drive? And says, well, how can I be out of money? I still have checks. Yeah. So if you hit me in my face, I'm not going to punch you back in your face. I'm going to go across your neck. We need to wipe out every Republican. Mm-hmm. Do not come. Don't. Oh, you were swearing. Sound like normal barracks language. Don't worry about cussing. You're speaking my language. She deserves a C word. I said twat, though. I didn't. I held back. Yeah, this is the exact type of rhetoric that got Charlie Kirk murdered by a shot to the neck. And CNN just lets it happen.
Work. I'm from the hood, okay?
I'm from the hood.
So when a bully comes, like, if there are no rules, you literally have to figure it out. So Donald Trump has changed things, and people trying to do what's always been done is not going to work. And I think that's why Democrats are losing black people. That's why they're losing poor people, because poor people, all they want is for us to fight. So if you hit me in my face, I'm not going to...
So wait a minute. So she says poor people are all just ignorant people that just want fights? So she thinks what this is like ancient Rome where they have the Colosseum, bread and circuses. They want the circuses. They don't actually... What? This is why when Maxine Waters said that shit that she said during the first Trump administration about, when we see them, you push back at them, you do this, we're going to go you're not welcome here, all this stuff. She should have been arrested. She should have been arrested and charged.
Punch you back in your face, I'm going to go across your neck, because we can go back and forth fighting in each other's faces. You've got to hit hard enough where they won't come back. And so, for the same way I went to New York and spoke with Governor Kathy Hochul and said, if they're going to try to wipe us out in Texas, we need to wipe out every Republican in New York, in California, in Illinois. So no one can make me feel bad about fighting for the people that I represent, because the people that I represent need someone who's willing to go in the ring and fight for them. And that's exactly what I'm going to do.
So, Representative, in that context, the reality of the world is we are living in a moment where, yes, there's this shutdown going down, and Democrats on Capitol Hill are standing up for that and the way they think is working. But we hear from them.
Who is making these clips? That should have been cut minutes ago. That's pathetic. So Stephen Miller has a message for ICE agents and people who want to harm them. To all ICE officers, you have federal immunity in the conduct of your duties. Anybody who lays a hand on you or tries to stop you or tries to obstruct does so committing a felony. You have immunity to perform your duties, and nobody, no city official, no state official, no illegal alien, no leftist agitator, or domestic insurrectionist can prevent you from fulfilling your legal obligations and duties. Yeah, these people are complete lunatics. Yeah. Intelligence quotient. Yes, IQ. I get in front of her and get in her face, and she'll pee her pants, and those I'm from the hood are the weakest, most pussified people. Are the Dems keeping the shutdown going, hoping the GOP will end the filibuster? It's possible. I think what it is you've got a bunch of people who are really afraid of the left. That's what was said, that there's people like Schumer is afraid of, if he ends the shutdown, that he's going to lose his seat to AOC, that she's going to come for him. And let's be real. New York is fucking lost, man. New York is lost.
But what we need to reassure a couple points to all ICE officers: you have federal immunity in the conduct of your duties. And anybody who lays a hand on you or tries to stop you or tries to obstruct you is committing a felony. You have immunity to perform your duties, and no one, no city official, no state official, no illegal alien, no leftist agitator or domestic insurrectionist can prevent you from fulfilling your legal obligations and duties. And the Department of Justice has made clear that if officials cross that line into obstruction, into criminal conspiracy against the United States or against ICE officers, then they will face justice. But what we need to reassure...
Yeah, I think this is more the Democrats understand that the ACA is doomed. This is the perfect excuse to jump ship and try to blame the Republicans. Yeah, like they could have made these subsidies they're talking about permanent, but they didn't. They only passed them for a certain number of years because they knew they didn't have the money and they couldn't afford it. And if they would have made it permanent, it would have been a huge problem for the, Congressional Budget Office, CBO. So they made them, expiring because it was just supposed to be an emergency thing because of COVID. Well, it's 2025. COVID was 2020. So I don't think we need these anymore for COVID. And that's just the way it is. And it's not up to the government to pay for other people's health care just because they can't afford it. I'm sorry. Yeah, notice each shutdown has been an escalation of rhetoric. Yeah, it has. It's a game of chicken. It really is. All right, I want to tell everybody, we've been going an hour and 45 minutes. If you haven't already, please hit the like button. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. And please remember that we got about 45 minutes left in the show. I know the goal says about 36 minutes on YouTube, but we got about 45 minutes left of the show unless we hit the goal of $75 for an additional hour. And right now we are $50 away from the additional hour and Bellavision, unless somebody donates either like 5 gifted memberships would be great. That would be Bellavision instantly. 10 gifted memberships would be Bellavision and an additional hour. But we're just going to keep moving here. Says Attorney General Pam Bondi orders Nancy Pelosi to preserve her emails after she ordered agents to be arrested. We will charge them if they think I won't. They have not met me. That's right. Who you tell them? Let's rally. Pam Bondi's ordered Nancy Pelosi and District Attorney Brooke Jenkins to preserve all communications following their calls to arrest federal agents and immigration officers operating in California. Pelosi and Jenkins made statements indicating that local authorities in California, specifically in San Francisco, could prosecute or arrest federal immigration agents if those agents violate state law. It's important to note that California law protects communities and prevents federal agents from taking certain actions here that we have witnessed in other states. While the president may enjoy absolute immunity courtesy of his rogue Supreme Court, those who operate under his orders do not. Our state and local authorities may arrest federal agents if they break California law, and if they are convicted, the president cannot pardon them. I believe that Randy Weaver would like to talk to you about that because when the state of Idaho tried to arrest the ATF agent who murdered his wife and son, they were told by the U.S. Supreme Court that they couldn't because he was a federal officer exercising federal duties and thus not subject to state laws. You might not like it, but that's the way it is. Nancy won't comply. Jenkins, in an interview with the New York Times, said her office has an obligation to step in if federal agents violate the law, for example, by using clear excessive force. Bondi, during a fiery interview with Jesse Waters, blasted Pelosi and California officials for what she called criminal interference with federal law enforcement. Cannot disclose the identity of a federal agent, where they live, anything that could harm them. Pelosi got a letter today from Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche. So did Brooke Jenkins. We told them, preserve your emails, preserve everything you have on this topic, because if you are telling people to arrest our officers, our federal agents, you cannot do that. You are impeding an investigation, and we will charge them. If they think I won't, they have not met me. We will protect our federal agents. They're out here working nonstop, even during a shutdown, to keep California safe. You've got Pelosi out here telling people to obstruct their investigations. You can't do it. We're going to investigate her now, as well as that DA. On Thursday, Todd Blanche confirmed that the state Department of Justice had formally warned California leaders, including Gavin Newsom, Attorney General Roberto Pelosi, and Jenkins, against any attempts to arrest or impede federal agents enforcing immigration law. Nasty Piss Pants Pelosi, Polydent Piglosi is an evil woman. Oh, that's awesome. I gotta remember that. Nasty Piss Pants Polydent Piglosi is an awful woman. Yeah, she's too stubborn and thinks she's right. Oh. The letter reads, federal agents, officers, and prosecutors work tirelessly every day to advance the public safety mission set forth by President Trump and Attorney General Van Bondi, despite receiving no pay during this government shutdown. Federal agents and officers across all 4 federal districts in California continue to put themselves in harm's way to keep Americans safe. Rather than supporting and working with federal law enforcement professionals, California politicians, including U.S. Representative Nasty Piss Pants Pig-Face Pelosi, San Francisco District Attorney Brooke Jenkins, have instead called for state and local officers to arrest federal agents and officers for enforcing federal laws enacted by Congress. The Department of Justice views any arrest of federal agents and officers in their performance of their official duties as both illegal and futile. Numerous federal laws prohibit it, so we read all that stuff. Further, the Supremacy Clause of the United States Constitution precludes a federal officer from being held on a state criminal charge where the alleged crime arose during the performance of his federal duties. The Department of Justice will investigate and prosecute any state and local official who violates these federal statutes. Accordingly, you are hereby directed to preserve all written and electronic communications and records related to any attempt or efforts to impede or obstruct federal law enforcement officials. We urge you and other California officials to publicly abandon this apparent criminal conspiracy to stop threatening law enforcement and to prioritize the safety of your citizens. It would be interesting to see if state law enforcement would actually obey a demand from a state government official to arrest ICE. I don't know. I mean, it would be they wouldn't. I mean, if they said no and something happened to them, it would be a slam dunk civil rights lawsuit, because they were telling me to break the law. They were telling me to go and try to, impede federal law enforcement, and so they fired me because I said no. It would be a slam dunk victory. In the meantime, federal agents and officers will continue to enforce federal law and will not be deterred by the threat of arrest by California authorities who have advocated their duty to protect their constituents. She's evil, but nothing happened when she ripped up the State of the Union speech publicly. I don't know that. Technically, I don't know if that was against the law. I mean, if that was the only copy, it would be a violation because it was like she failed to preserve congressional records type of thing. She destroyed them. So technically, they could have probably charged her with a crime if they wanted to. Maybe, I don't know. Possible. Then we'll go right here to the right part. Says AG Bondi warns Pelosi and demon rats for threatening ICE officers. The administration officials are warning Piglosi, Prickster, and other wealthy party politicians that they face arrest if they resist the federal enforcement of Congress's deportation laws. We will not tolerate threats. Tom Homan to Sanctuary Democrats fighting ICE. You're welcome.
A peace plan for Gaza.
No, never mind. And it's just, well, the president may enjoy absolute immunity courtesy of his Rome Supreme Court. That's not what it was said. And I hate to break it to her, but federal law enforcement have immunity too. After Portland police reluctantly, so this is on to the next story now. We're going to move to Portland, where you're actually going to see police officers actually helping Antifa. You're going to see Antifa cops. We're going to see a couple things of Antifa cops. They reluctantly took an insurgent into custody at the ICE facility. One of the officers hoisted the "fuck Trump" flag over his head, waving it. The police, prosecutors, and judges are all members of Antifa. Watch, see him? Oh, I couldn't hear it. Oh, listen. I got it cranked up now. I don't know. Uh-oh. Oh, my Lord. Oh, my Lord. Oh, my Lord. Rocky. Wow. Happy birthday to me. Wow. So with that, television definitely comes into play right there. What happened? I hate chords. I hate chords. And with that, we get
Tactical assessment. Red Chinese victory. Impossible. America will never fall to communist invasion. Communism is the very definition of failure.
Thank you, Rocky. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Rocky. Many, many more. Thank you for the $50. And with that, we hit the goal of $50. So now the show is extended by 1 additional hour. And we are now $75 away from a second additional hour of the program. That's right. Thanks, Rocky. Happy birthday. You rock, Rocky. Thank you, Rocky. Happy birthday. Everyone loves Bella. When I was in the Air Force, if someone got in trouble off base, it would be turned over to the USAF. That's right. Yeah. Just like in Dearborn, 60% of the officers are Muslim. Muslim. Thank you very much, Rocky. Thank you very, very much. And then watch this. Jesse Waters went off on Portland, saying Portland police have become Antifa bouncers, slamming the local cops for shielding leftist terrorists. Yes. Happy birthday, Rocky. Thanks for supporting Jim with the news. Thank you. That's right. Oh, I got to fix my camera and Bella's, actually. I just realized that. Mine is. There we go. All right. And then Bella's is a little off there. Okay, there she is sleeping. He's chilling. Bella Vision activity. So, yeah, so Portland's looking like Gaza before the peace deal. He's right. The National Guard is long overdue.
It goes deeper. Portland police, they've become Antifa bouncers, shielding they-thems from the feds.
And they're running for cover behind Portland police. Oh my God. You've got to be kidding me. Anything. So we're standing there, we don't know what's going on. So it's just like, she's really running behind you guys. We don't know why she's running. So.
The anarchists suddenly love law enforcement as long as they can use them as human shields. And to the cops' credit, they are cracking down against bad parallel parking.
Yeah. I don't know why YouTube's doing that.
This is a traffic violation. Get it out of here.
I don't know why YouTube's doing that, Angelo. I don't know. I don't have any control over what YouTube does. I don't. I'm sorry.
Do not interrupt me in a traffic stop. Get over there now.
Get over there now!
The National Guard, still banned. Trump won the case yesterday, but we're still waiting on one other order. Democrats are demanding troops disobey orders, or else.
The oath of service says that you are obligated to follow the Constitution. There may be times when you face an order from your chain of command that is illegal. And the whether or not you follow that order in the moment is going to be a decision that any given soldier or airman or Marine is going to have to make based upon their moral compass.
As long as we're disobeying orders from the federal government, do I still have to pay my taxes? Even though dead bodies are rotting on the street, even though schools have closed down from tear gas, and there's fires every night, Portland's just a walk in the park. It's just a bunch of Teletubbies in the trenches.
Let's just be clear. Portland is not lawless. We have been extraordinary in our resistance to Donald Trump's fairy tale about our city. We must remain steadfast in our peaceful resistance to Donald Trump.
Oregon's governor even coined a new term. It's no longer mostly peaceful. It's playfully protesting.
The use of the crowd control techniques from federal agents was over the top and also would be instigating conflict with the folks who are lawfully protesting. And remember, we have a lot of individuals who are there playfully saying, we don't agree with the federal government, and yet ICE agents are taking one step further and going out and shooting off tear gas and other things.
Yeah, when Antifa throws rocks and blockades agents from leaving, ICE should just squirt them with water guns.
Yeah, it's word about water guns. All right, we've been going 2 hours. Please remember, if you haven't already, hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. We have a hour and a half left of show, thanks to Rocky's very generous $50 donation. If we happen to hit the next goal of $75 in the next hour and a half, we will add another hour to the show after that. So keep that in mind, everyone. Here's this guy says, I screen grabbed. Hey, Grip, what's up? Yet the Fed is still giving them funding. What the fuck? Yeah. Hey, Grip, what's up, man? How you doing? Nobody ever believes that my name is really Rocky in real life anyway. Probably why USMC gave me 2 combat action rivers on the same day. Nobody else in my unit got 2. Wait, so that was you, Tasmanian Rebel? When you gave that 50, it came up as Rocky? Are you serious? Is that what she was talking? That's crazy. That is nuts. Hold on, I gotta look at something. That is just crazy. Yep, that is Tasman. Oh my God, what is going on with, what the fuck is YouTube doing? What is going on? What is happening? I'm sorry, I didn't realize that happened, Rocky. I'm sorry, Tasmanian Rebel. That is nuts. Oh, well, thank you, sir, for the wonderful donation. I was wondering why we thought it was Tina Kotex and Tampon Tim look like kissing cousins. See what I did there? I wonder if she's seen the footage from J6 of the Capitol Police shooting tear gas into random people. Yeah, I think we should all have cake. I thought, cake and ice cream. At first, I thought it said Coke and ice cream, and I was like, I'm one step ahead of you. I got my Coke right here. Yes, Portland police are Antifa. So this guy says, I screen grabbed this last night from Portland. 2 Portland police officers hold up this flag while in the process of arresting this thug. Does it look like they're posing for a picture? Look. All right, watch what they're doing with this flag. They're very proud of that flag. Bunch of Antifa fucks is what they are. These cops are working with the Antifa scum. Bet they let this guy go before they got to the jail. Someone needs to check public arrest records. Looks like a stage setup. They followed the guy for 2 blocks with the victim repeatedly pointing him out before this photo op. He claimed he was released at 9 a.m. this morning. Cool, but cool, he was arrested. I watched this piece of shit using black tactics against Kowalski Press, codename Shitpile. Love the code names. I bet he's undercover Portland PD. He seemed way too confident and police avoided arresting him. Interesting. That's a great observation. Because Antifa has permission from the Portland police. Organ needs more carbon dioxide. Too much oxygen is causing brain damage, probably. What's it say? Glad to be here. Thank you, Grip. Oh, well, El Gato Delgados. Nice to have you here. Followed and like. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. We do these shows almost every night. Usually almost every night. Sometimes I take a night off during the week. But, it's every, that's on, except for Thursdays. I do a show on Thursdays with Joe, and that's only going to be on YouTube and on Rumble, generally speaking, because you can only stream, I only get to stream to 2 locations when I'm co-streaming.
This has been declared a riot. The area is now closed. All persons must immediately leave the area by traveling through the door.
Wow, look at the cops just run away. Cops are never supposed to retreat. Wow, look at them, they're just going to leave. It says, Jim tells you is the Coca-Cola polar bear of southern Florida. Well, I have been called a polar bear before. If you get my drift. If you're getting what I'm laying down. Oh, wrong one. Sorry. No. There we go. That's better. Says, I will try to catch you with replays if you stream this late, MAGA baby. I stream at 10 o'clock at night. Usually start at 10 at night, go as long as the chat wants to go. For every $75 that comes in, I extend the show by an hour. So right now we're on our first extra hour, and we're working on our second extra hour. Mm-hmm. And then this is crazy. This is shocking. Parents brought their toddlers to the front lines of a protest in Portland ICE protest. Yes, 10 Eastern. 10 p.m. Eastern I start usually. I mean, I could start earlier, but it's hard for me to start earlier than 10. Yeah, wow, happy birthday to you. Thank you. Thank you for saying thank you to Tasmanian Rebel. Can the police authorize a group to be immune from criminal activity as in rioting? Well, if the police refuse to do anything about it, that's kind of an what do we call it? Tacit immunization if they refuse to arrest them. And then Nick Sorter was back in Portland. He said, watch, I took advantage of the leftist militants being distracted by yelling at each other to walk through their newly rebuilt camp outside of ICE Portland. Thousands of dollars worth of supplies, food, and equipment, including gas masks, are nicely organized in bins. The city pretended to make them leave, but allowed them to put all their stuff in a storage unit directly behind the sidewalk so they could rebuild 1 hour later. An absolute joke. Way past time that we found out who's paying for all this.
Cool. So we're actually allowed to use the sidewalk for once time. Look at this. Look at this. Hey, you hungry? Just looking. I mean, there's a lot of it. It's awfully organized. It's pretty nice. Pretty well done.
I salute you, El Gato de Gatos.
It's community.
I know, but don't get your grubby, ungloved hands on them.
Wow, look at all that water.
Good job.
And guess who Mr. Fuck you?
Hey, Amanda, how you doing?
That's called the polar plunge.
No, actually, I needed it to be zoomed out a little bit more. I needed a better light. Why would I need to do that? I won't shine the light in your face. Well, What do you mean so much? Dude, trashy. Come on, man.
Why are you acting so trashy? Why are you recording people without asking their permission?
Well, you don't need people's permission there, bud.
You don't think any of this is weird? You don't think 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 any of this is weird? This is all normal? Do you know what time it is? It's a Tuesday night. Huh?
Such a square. Why such a square? We just want to burn the place down. Don't be a square.
Doing this for money? If only you knew how much it cost me to be here. If only you knew how much it cost me to be here. It cost me tens of thousands of dollars. Tens of thousands of dollars. And I will be here for quite a long time, don't you worry.
No, I said an ass white. Why don't you ask people's permission before you record them? It's trashy.
Because you don't have to.
That's very interesting. It looks like a sidewalk rummage scale. Yeah. Yeah, supply and logistics are the backbone of any military campaign. That's the truth. You take out the supply, you cut supply lines, you start, army moves through its stomach. Yes. There's thank you, Lady Obama. Enjoy the Pelican. We all will. Gas masks are very expensive. That shows how well funded they are. Yes, it is. Delgado says, thank you, sir. I appreciate the channel. Well, I appreciate every viewer. I try to talk to the chat as much as possible and have conversations with people while I'm doing a show. So I think it makes it a little better. So it's not just, we're kind of talking to each other, getting to know each other. Choosy says, helps to think of swimming in cold water when you're doing cold showers. I forgot to say to Steve and a couple other people who are asking about back pain. What really works, believe it or not, is a schwitz. If you know what a schwitz is, where you go to like a Russian bath and where it's very hot, you're in like a sauna or a steam room, and then you go into the ice plunge, and then you keep rotating, going back and forth, 10 minutes in the high heat, 10 minutes in the ice bath, 10 minutes in the heat, 10 minutes in the ice bath. That, expansion and contraction of your muscles and everything and skin really helps with back pain and stuff like that. And it's really good for you. Yeah. Cold showers are multi-athletic and good incentive to shake your ass. That's right. Yeah. And we appreciate you engaging with the chat. And you do well addressing the chat. Well, I try. Once your channel, you get bigger, you won't be able to. Well, I'm always going to try to do it, and like, I'll try, like the OGs will get like, I'll have like a special way to identify the OGs once I get big enough. I'll have like, basically, it's probably because of the adrenaline. It could be, but I don't know why. But going from the heat, like you go to the go to the wet sauna to the dry sauna and then to this ice bath, and then just keep rotating. It's also great for hangovers, by the way. If you're hungover, if you're ever hungover, you go to a schwitz. Oh, anyway, we used to go in Chicago all the time to the Russian bathhouse, not in order. All right, now we're going to jump to a different story. It says, today the United States Attorney for the Office of the Eastern District of Pennsylvania filed a major strike to take the streets back of Philadelphia. In the largest federal indictment of the 21st century in our district, this indictment brings charges against 33 defendants in a massive drug conspiracy spanning nearly a decade involving tremendous volumes of fentanyl, and all centered around the epicenter of the opioid crisis, the infamous open-air drug market of the Kensington neighborhood. Oh yeah, make sure your heart is in good shape before doing the ice baths. Yeah, but it's actually, as long as you're not like, if you don't have heart, like, as long as you don't have like existing like massive heart problems, it's actually healthy for your heart. It makes your heart pump. You know what I mean? It makes your, so it's good if you're not like, if you don't have some kind of heart failure or heart problems, it's actually good for your heart and everything. Yeah, you got to use your head. Duration is key. Just use enough water. Do what you need. Turn it off. Yeah, yeah. You want to go to, like I'm saying, these are like establishments where it's like they timed and everything. There's clocks. You watch the clock and stuff, and you go. And never go alone either. You always want to have a partner. You never want to go alone. You always want to have a partner, somebody you can go with. An indictment is only an allegation. All Americans are presumed innocent. The job is not done unless we obtain conviction. But we have sent a loud and unmistakable message with a clear the block prosecution, which, if successful, will eradicate the 31st Weymouth drug trafficking organization entirely. We cannot and will not accept the desolation of the drug trade as a fact of life anywhere in America. I want to thank our FBI partners and the Philadelphia Police Department. I also want to thank all our federal, state, and local law enforcement partners for their participation in Operation Take Back America, the Homeland Security Task Force, the PSN Recon, which is the violent crime initiative of the United States Attorney's Office to harness the intelligence of the entire law enforcement community, federal, state, and local, to identify the individuals and organizations responsible for violence in this city. Through PSN, which I want to say is the Pennsylvania Surveillance Network or something, today is just the start of our crusade against violent criminals in the city. You first learned Russian bathhouse when I watched Red Heat with Arnold Schwarzenegger? Yeah. But it's stuff that they've been going, for years. Like, it's actually what I don't know. It's got to work pretty good for some stuff, because look at some of them Russians, how old they live, and that ice cold, and they're constantly drunk, and they smoke, and they do all this stuff, and they live. I think it helps. I think it hardens you up. Today, it is those criminals, not the citizens they victimize, that must live in fear of the Department of Justice, as focused on its prime mission of peace through law. I had another thing here, which I didn't pull up because I got it later. Let me find it. Yeah, here we go. Citizens of Philadelphia deserve safe and secure streets. Watch the movie Eastern Promises with Viggo Mortensen. Yeah. Peace through strength of law. Yeah. The Kensington drug market has plagued the city for far too long. Those days are over. When President Trump told us to go get them, he wasn't kidding, and neither were we. Massive multi-location drug raid in Kensington. Hey, why are they wearing masks?
You right here.
Wow. Another major drug trafficking crew taken down. 30-plus charged for pushing fentanyl, heroin, and cocaine on one of Philly's most violent drug blocks. Philadelphia police announced gang drug trafficking bust in Kensington. Philadelphia serves federal agents will never comply with state law enforcement demanding them to release detainees or unmasked. They could be arrested for federal obstruction and the federal win. Yeah, exactly right. It's actually threatening that is a crime. They're threatening, is impeding, interfering. That's a crime. I am sure people are reporting illegals, especially if they cause problems in the communities. Yeah. Philadelphia deserves safe streets, not open-air drug markets run by violent traffickers. Grateful to U.S. Attorney Metcalf and his team and our law enforcement partners for taking 33 alleged traffickers off the streets and making our communities safer. Ivan Rakeland says, now take Larry Krasner off the streets for facilitating the 2020 election heist and the 2020 election in PA, and for stripping those in Philly of their 2A. Hit me up if you want like a briefing on the details. Oh, Todd Blanchard. Yeah, no, he's not. You guys are weird when people saying this stuff. Wow. Here we go. The Democrat-appointed Philadelphia police commissioner just gave a massive praise to Kash Patel and President Trump's FBI. Kevin Bethel, Director Patel, I appreciate the support. This is the work I constantly tell people. We are having significant success across this city this year. It's those relationships the FBI would turn to us to help us in that murder investigation. It's because the FBI just facilitated an enormous gang takedown in Philly. Every Democrat city should invite the feds to do more. It will mean more results.
Wanted to recognize the team here today. You know, as I live around the group here, Director Patel, I appreciate the support, and I share with you behind the scenes my appreciation for my colleague and law enforcement colleagues and the U.S. Attorney here as well, colleagues from the state. I mean, this is the work. You know, I constantly tell people, you know, we are having significant success across the city this year. And it's not just about, you know, the Philadelphia Police Department. It's those relationships that we've had for quite some time. And we continue to use those relationships to move forward. It was just not too long ago after Kata Scott's, we found her murderer. It was the FBI that I returned to help us in that investigation and talking to Wayne throughout that. So we're constantly behind the scenes working together, and I'm just so appreciative of that. I do want to recognize Commissioner Kelly, who oversees our narcotics team, and our narcotics officers here today, and the Bureau for their hard work and their engagement. You know, 2 years ago when I joined back to the police department after being here 30 years, the mayor talked about One Philly in action. And this is exactly the model that the mayor at the time talked about. She charged us at that time, you know, to not just turn into turf battles and not to be in silos in our work, and that the agencies working together, we can have an impact on impacting the lives of the people that we serve. And those comments are echoed here today. Today is a culmination of a deliberate, patient, and highly coordinated investigation into a violent criminal enterprise happening in and around Weymouth Street in Kensington. You see the captain behind me nodding.
Very low audio. All right, hold on. Let me see.
Thank you.
Sorry, I had it boosted to 450. I didn't want to go too high. I'll start it over.
Just to recognize the team here today. You know, as I live around the group here, Director Patel, I appreciate the support, and I share with you behind the scenes my appreciation for my colleague and law enforcement colleagues and the U.S. Attorney here as well, colleagues from the state. I mean, this is the work. You know, I constantly tell people, you know, we are having significant success across the city this year. And it's not just about, you know, the Philadelphia Police Department. It's those relationships that we've had for
Unfortunately, you're probably right. States are numbered.
Continue to use those relationships to move forward. It was just not too long ago after Kata Scott's, we found her murderer. It was the FBI that I returned to help us in that investigation and talking to Wayne throughout that. So we're constantly behind the scenes working together, and I'm just so appreciative of that. I do want to recognize Commissioner Kelly, who oversees our narcotics team, and our narcotics officers here today, and the Bureau for their hard work and their engagement. You know, 2 years ago when I joined back to the police department after being here 30 years, the mayor talked about One Philly in action. And this is exactly the model that the mayor at the time talked about. She charged us at that time, you know, to not just turn into turf battles and not to be in silos in our work, and that the agencies working together, we can have an impact on impacting the lives of the people that we serve. And those comments are echoed here today. Today is a culmination of a deliberate, patient, and highly coordinated investigation into a violent criminal enterprise happening in and around Weymouth Street in Kensington. You see the captain behind me nodding. He's like, man, thank you. Because we have known for a long time the conditions and what Weymouth has done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, fentanyl is bad. You know it when heroin is a safer alternative. Yeah, my personal audio is good, but when the video audio is very low. I can only boost it 600%, and that was 600%. So there's nothing, I mean, I guess, I don't know. I think there's one, maybe I'll look into get, there's another one I think that goes up to 800%. I can try to get that one, but I need to find out the name of it. Because a lot of them are just scams. says dozens indicted in historic drug bust in Philly's Kensington neighborhood.
Are safer tonight after prosecutors say they took down a major drug operation that's been terrorizing Kensington for years. FBI agents raided homes on the 3100 block of Weymouth Street this morning as prosecutors dismantled a decades-long drug operation in Kensington.
This is one of the largest and most impressive gang takedowns that I have ever seen.
FBI Director Kash Patel announced the major indictment involving members of the Weymouth Street Gang, a violent group of drug traffickers accused of pushing fentanyl, crack cocaine, and heroin into the notorious open-air drug market in parts of Kensington.
Throughout the course of the coordinated takedown, as well as the investigation overall, we've been able to recover dozens of firearms off the street, including assault rifles, seize substantial volumes of fentanyl and narcotics.
United States Attorney David Metcalf says the operation dates back to 2016. Prosecutors named Jose Antonio Morales Nieves the ringleader of the gang, with Ramon Montañez and Nancy Rios Valentin high-ranking leaders. Together, authorities say they ran the operation like a successful business, keeping schedules for dealers and lookouts, and threatened violence to anyone who went to authorities.
The people of Kensington deserve safety, dignity, and peace, as any other neighborhood does.
Of the 33 indicted, 32 are now in custody with ties to Delaware, New Jersey, and Puerto Rico. A takedown authorities are calling historic for the district.
We are all here with a loud and unmistakable message that we are reclaiming these neighborhoods for the people who live and work here. We are taking back what the defendants are alleged to have stolen from the community, which is peace, prosperity, law, and order.
The FBI says that they executed 11 additional search warrants this morning, but the results are still pending. Outside FBI headquarters, Kelsey Kushner, NBC 10 News.
Wow, that's interesting, right? Oh, no, go back. Well, we saw that. So more than 30 people are charged in a historic indictment. Sorry about that. More than 30 people were charged. What's it say? Philly is going to be hard. We don't have a DEA for that. Don't we have a DEA for that? Why is Cash doing that and not getting rid of the swamp creatures? I think because this was like a murder. It was a murder investigation that they needed help with tracking down to get the murderer. I think from 2016 and FBI and the DEA's been kind of I don't know what the quick word is, hampered along with the ATF. I think a lot of DEA agents and ATF agents have been working with ICE. So, because the DEA, because for the cartels and stuff like that, and the DEA was probably involved too. It's just the FBI is basically in charge of all those agencies, really. More than 30 people were charged in this historic indictment against a massive drug trafficking organization in Philly. Kash Patel and Police Commissioner Bethel and Attorney General Metcalf announced that 33 alleged members of the Weymouth Street drug trafficking organization were charged with conspiracy to distribute controlled substances and dozens of related offenses. I wonder if there was any illegal aliens involved in this. Maybe that's another reason why they were on it. Mm-hmm. Just watched a crime video of drug addict Granny who left fentanyl dust on her stuff. 10-year-old grandson touched it and died. She got 9 years. She should have got the old Chippy. Good old Chippy. Yeah, they're both under the Department of Justice, so no problem. Yeah, they work together. Today, even more criminals are off the streets because of the diligent work of our FBI partners. Over 30 people in charge. These individuals were charged with distributing fentanyl, heroin, and cocaine on one of the most prolific drug blocks in Philly. They were members of a violent drug trafficking organization and used violence to enforce their territory and sell drugs that poison our city streets and community. The FBI will continue to work to put an end to drug trafficking and violence in our streets. Skyforce 10 was over the scene Friday morning near Clearfield and Potter Streets as police officers and FBI agents raided several homes in the area. Some law enforcement officials were spotted carrying out several boxes from a home. During a press conference, law enforcement officials revealed that the raids were part of the largest federal indictment from the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Eastern District of Pennsylvania this century. This case involves 33 defendants. It's a massive drug trafficking conspiracy spanning a decade, involving tremendous volumes of fentanyl, narcotics, and it took place at the epicenter of the opioid crisis. Dozens of guns were seized during the raids, along with drugs, including fentanyl and cocaine. Breaking news and stories that matter to your neighborhood. Film at 11. That was a good story, right? All right. We've been going 2.5 hours. I just started a new goal on YouTube to keep track because the other one had expired. And I set it for $75 because if we hit $75 in the next hour, so it's an hour long, and I'll add everything up all across PayPal, Cash App, Rumble Rants, gifted memberships, all that stuff. But if we hit $75, we will add another hour after this hour. So just everyone keep that in mind. If you want to go another hour after this hour on Friday night. On to this story. New story. Overnight, at the direction of President Trump, the Department of War carried out a lethal kinetic strike on a vessel operated by Tren de Aragua, a designated terrorist organization trafficking narcotics in the Caribbean Sea. The vessel was known by our intelligence to be involved in illicit narcotic smuggling while transiting along a known narco-trafficking route and carrying narcotics. 6 male narco-terrorists were aboard the vessel during the strike, which was conducted in international waters and was the first strike at night. All 6 terrorists were killed, and no U.S. forces were harmed in the strike. Been loving the stream, watching on my smart TV at the computer now. 2 days in a row, FBI kicking ass and taking names, MAGA. Well, Vince, thank you. And yes, it seems like, innocent fishing boats. Right, yeah. I've seen all the boats. They ain't no innocent. Those ain't fishing boats. Ain't no fishing poles on the boats. Oh, you're finally here. Y'all can put your clothes back on and stop the party. Gundam, the party's going to start because you're here, buddy. We've been waiting on you for the party to start. If you are a narco-terrorist smuggling drugs in our hemisphere, we will treat you like we treat Al-Qaeda, day or night. We will map your networks. We will track your people. We will hunt you down, and we will kill you. Not me. They are. I'm just quoting what they're saying. I'm not saying I'm going to kill anybody. So YouTube terms of service, all that stuff. Boom! Man. Wow. Now that's what I call a direct hit. It says, finally, TDA isn't some street gang. They're a Venezuelan-backed terror cartel trafficking drugs, women, and violence across their traffic drugs, women, and violence across our hemisphere. The Caribbean strike proves what we've always known, that narco-terrorists aren't criminals. They're enemy combatants. Yes. They're participating in a chemical attack against the U.S., chemical warfare, killing 100,000 Americans a year. Ooh, I had to rewind that hit. Fire, yeah. Kensington, drug trafficking isn't a local problem. People flying from all over the place, the perfect drugs there. Just saying Minecraft. Operation Take Back America's Joint Task Force Vulcan. I wonder if they use a Vulcan. Already indicted 27 TDA members in April for racketeering and sex trafficking. Now kinetic action matches that legal designation. Night ops show precision capability expansion under Trump's doctrine. No sanctuary for terrorists. When Treasury sanctioned TDA in 2024 as a transnational criminals, critics whined about escalation. Turns out Bondi's DOJ was right to label them foreign terrorist organizations. Every trafficker sunk is a node destroyed in their network. The operational details and political fallout are all mapped out. I had to close a few tabs here. Okay. Stephen Miller weighs in and says, Tren de Aragua is a designated foreign terrorist organization from Venezuela operating under the direct control of the Venezuelan regime, the Maduro regime. They have waged a campaign of rape, torture, and murder against Americans, and its members are designated as alien enemies of the United States. And the alien enemies of the United States. I guess that means that if they're alien enemies of the United States, they don't get a trial, they get a missile. We don't arrest people we're at war with, folks. The strike against Tren de Aragua, narco-terrorist vessel, was a necessary enforcement of Trump's red line. Zero tolerance for foreign cartels poisoning American communities. TDA isn't just trafficking drugs. They're a designated terrorist organization linked to sex trafficking, murder, and destabilizing Venezuelan regime proxies. The DOJ's April indictments exposed their racketeering empire, including forced prostitution rings and Tutsi distribution. Treasury sanctions on Nino Guerrero and his lieutenants in July targeted their financial networks, but kinetic action was inevitable once their maritime operations threatened U.S. sovereignty. This isn't mere law enforcement, it's strategic deterrence. When terrorists masquerade as traffickers, they forfeit any claim to due process. That's right. Give them the old Rick roll. Howard University shooting, 5 dead. At this time of night, it's got to be a party or something. Night strikes necessary. Hunting them like Al Qaeda, overdue. Operation Take Back America is dismantling these networks brick by brick, and this strike proves no safe haven exists beyond our reach. Sorry, late catching up. You know what the foot says to the tomato? Ketchup. Hey, what's up, K-Jab? That ship was an IOP, Identified Oceanic Phenomenon. Let's see. Let's see. Howard. Four adults, one juvenile shot near Howard University as homecoming events. So near Howard University, not at. It's homecoming weekend. I'll keep this on the side. We'll look at this in a minute. We got this. Hexa says U.S. military struck Tren de Aragua drug boat, killing 6 in the Caribbean. Defense Secretary Hexa said Friday that U.S. military overnight struck Tren de Aragua's drug smuggling boat in the Caribbean, killing 6 narco-terrorists. At the direction of President Trump and the Department of War, carried out a lethal kinetic strike on a vessel operated by Tren de Aragua, a designated terrorist organization trafficking narcotics in the Caribbean Sea. Hexa posted on X that the vessel was known by our intelligence to be involved in illicit narcotics smuggling, was transiting along a known narcotic trafficking route, and was carrying narcotics. Hey, what's up? Yay, we are stream sniping you. Okay, go right ahead. I don't care. And hey, Jim, what's up? What's up, Mark? How you doing? Water Mark, how you doing? Aliens in the water, yeah. Dave wants to know why you're so handsome today. I'm handsome every day, baby. This is the 10th strike on a suspected drug smuggling vessel by the military, bringing the death toll of the campaign against drug cartels to at least 46 people. 6 male narco-terrorists were aboard the vessel during the strike, which was conducted in international waters, and was the first strike at night. All 6 terrorists were killed, and no U.S. forces were harmed in the strike. If you're a narco-terrorist smuggling drugs in our hemisphere, we will treat you like we treat Al Qaeda day or night. We will map your networks, track your people, hunt you down, and kill you. The strike has been occurring more frequently as of late, with 3 in 1 week now, after initially 1 strike every few weeks. 2 of this week's strikes were in the Eastern Pacific, going beyond the Caribbean strikes. Wait, I never said that. So you're saying I don't look good? It's better to look good than to feel good, my darling. Six dead after U.S. strikes. Caribbean targets alleged drug running boat. We saw all this stuff. So the Pentagon announced Friday it bombed another drug boat. There's Hexa saying, we're going to get him. Strike is believed to be the 10th since the campaign began, September 2nd. It just says, Hexa says, yeah, that's next. Yeah, that's next. That's coming up next. Another boat strike in the Caribbean kills 6. Pace of strikes has quickened in recent days. And 22nd black and white video showed the strike. So we read all this. So yes, so now we have this development. The U.S. deploys the Ford, that's the Gerald Ford Carrier Strike Group, to target suspected drug vessels in the Western Hemisphere. And that's CVN 78's in the hood. That's right. That's the USS Gerald Ford. So that, and I'm going to go out on a limb. What's it say about Kelsey Grammer? Oh, no, that's the other. Oh. So the Trump administration has ordered deployment of the Gerald R. Ford Carrier Strike Group in the Western Hemisphere as the U.S. continues to target suspected drug smuggling vessels in the Caribbean. I am going to go out on a limb and say that this Carrier Strike Group has nothing to do with going after those little boats. The Carrier Strike Group has something to do with going after things on land. Savvy? You understand what I'm saying? Because a Carrier Strike Group isn't just an aircraft carrier. A Carrier Strike Group is an aircraft carrier and multiple frigates and destroyers and a couple cruisers and a submarine. Yeah. And it's probably there to also, it could be there to provide air support for an amphibious landing if, say, the 7,500 Marines that are on an amphibious landing vessel that are also there decide they want to go ashore and play in the woods, play army guy in the woods, whatever you want to call it. Where are they? There's an amphibious ready group or something out already there. They've been there. Yeah, carrier entourage. Yeah, no, but there was already a marine, a ship. One of their, I can't remember what it's called, an LSAT or what's it called? Landing ship something or other, whatever, was already there. It's been there with the other stuff that's been there with the cruisers and stuff. The Aegis, Arleigh Burke destroyers and stuff that were there. But now they're sending a carrier. So to me, sending a carrier means that they need to project air power. And that would be for something happening on the land, like going to get someone, like, I don't know, LHD, yeah, something like that. Or an LST maybe, or I don't know. I don't remember. It's been a long time. But whatever, there's a craft there with 6,500 or 7,500 Marines on it. So anyway, that's a lot of Marines to be on a ship. But anyway, back to the point. It could be more than one ship, actually. I don't know. But you have the Colombian president threatening to murder our president, basically saying he could take Trump out just like that. And then you got Venezuela, so who knows? This could be straight out of that movie, Clear and Present Danger, where they sent a bunch of, a dozen guys to shore. Hope we don't get a Gulf of Tonkin incident. I don't think we got to worry about that. I think Trump's not waiting for them to do something. He's already got doesn't need any more, doesn't need any more justification to take out Maduro. Maduro's wanted, has a $50 million bounty on his head. And that's been in existence since before Trump was ever president. Do you remember what happened in 89? Was it Just Cause, right? Operation Just Cause, I believe, when they went and got Noriega? Yeah. As they say, a carrier is 100,000 tons of diplomacy. Yeah. LCU, landing craft unit. Okay. I know it's something like that but I mean, this was reported on a while ago. Okay, yeah. LHDs, LHAs, LPDs, partridges in a pear tree. Oh. Clear and present danger was my job in the Marines. Lays the target. Yeah, we might see something like that happening. Maybe we're going to see somebody go to shore and start putting lasers on some stuff to blow some stuff up. I hope it's just for a show of force. We don't need that much for those countries. I've seen the Colombian army. This is overkill. Maybe they don't want another. They don't want another. What happened? Because if you remember, Just Cause, when they went in, we lost a bunch of. That was the largest loss of SEALs, or of SEALs, prior to what happened in Afghanistan when that helicopter or transport, was it a helicopter? A Chinook went down with like 20 SEALs on it. Panama, yeah. There was a problem. We lost a bunch of SEALs. We lost a bunch of Rangers in the beginning, so they they want to we lost like 20, 30 guys, I think, in Panama. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm remembering wrong. The Trump administration has ordered deployment of the Ford to the Western Hemisphere, yes. In support of President Trump's directive to dismantle the transnational criminal organizations and counter narcotic terrorism in defense of the homeland, the Secretary of War has directed the Gerald R. Ford Carrier Strike Group and embarked Carrier Air Wing to the U.S. Southern Command area of responsibility. To the enhanced U.S. force present in U.S. Southcom AOR area of responsibility will bolster U.S. capacity to detect, monitor, and disrupt illicit actors and activities that compromise the safety and prosperity of the United States homeland and other security in the Western Hemisphere. These forces will enhance and augment existing capabilities to disrupt narcotics trafficking and degrade and dismantle TCOs. I want it to be like Heartbreak Ridge, Texas's Gunny Highway. Oh, Heartbreak Ridge. Grenada. Yeah. Better overkill than losing one. Yeah. They have a meeting with the Colombian president. Yeah. Heartbreak Ridge was a great movie too, man. Grenada. Reagan did all that. Reagan did all that without asking anybody. He didn't even tell Margaret Thatcher, and Margaret Thatcher was pissed because technically, Grenada was British protectorate. It was their problem, not ours. It's about time Southcom does something, staying in Miami for too long chilling. Yeah, they better get at it. Mm-hmm. See, here's Peace Exif. He's saying, we're going to kill them. The Trump administration has ordered a number of strikes in the Caribbean aimed at dismantling and disrupting drug cartels in the region. Most recently, War Secretary Pete Hegseth announced on Thursday that a strike on a vessel allegedly operating by members of Plan de Aragua, a designated terrorist organization, killed 6 narco-terrorists. Okay. And, The Hill, or USA Today reports, Trump deploys aircraft carrier strike group to South America amid Venezuelan tensions. Yeah, strike group is usually 8 to 11 other ships besides the carrier. So it's not just the carrier. The enhancing of sports. I hate that they play music like that. Okay. It felt like the right thing to do at the time. Gunny Highway in court for urinating on a cop car, yeah. Alleged narco-terrorists. Yeah, well, they're not going to have their day in court. So, John Parnell, who is Hegseth's Assistant Defense Secretary for Public Affairs, announced that the Gerald Ford, its onboard warplanes, and other ships in the strike group are deploying to dismantle the transnational criminal organizations and counter narco-terrorism in the region. I mean, oh, ever get an ear itch? Oh, inside of my ear is itching. Oh, God, it's driving me crazy. U.S. officials have accused Venezuela's leadership and President Maduro of running drug cartels and facilitating mass migration towards the U.S. southern border. I mean, if they're saying that, if that's their allegation, and they have evidence to prove that Maduro's involved in this stuff, he is a target. There's a $50 million bounty on his head. I think the bounty on Noriega, when we went in to get Noriega, was only like 10 million. Yes. Vince says, let's get the likes up, folks. 120 watch and only 80 likes. We can do better. That's right. We can do better. I'm sure they have all the proof you need if they're narco terrorists. Well, I mean, those boats are carrying all the drugs is kind of a dead giveaway. You know, it's kind of a dead giveaway. You know what I'm saying, Spang? Yeah, saying, Spang. Mm-hmm. Oh. Mm-hmm. Faced with the prospect of being overthrown or killed, Maduro has alternated between pleading for peace and warning the United States about his country's defense capabilities. Bah! According to the War Zone, the Venezuelan military has small numbers of modern anti-ship missiles and long-range anti-aircraft missiles, in addition to a large supply of portable Igla-S anti-air missiles that Maduro said are scattered throughout the country. The counter-drug campaign, which legal experts argue could violate the law, I don't know what legal experts they are, because they're fucking idiots if they think so, has faced criticism with regional leaders such as Colombian President Gustavo Petro, the guy who threatened to kill President Trump. Okay. The admiral who leaves U.S. Southern Command and oversees the campaign, Admiral Halsey, abruptly announced his early retirement. Yeah, he was a guy who Biden put in there after Trump won. And he was basically there. He was a DEI hire. And he was there trying to fucking muck up the work, so he had to go. A bipartisan group of senators introduced a war powers resolution recently that seeks to restrain the Trump administration, but it failed. 48 to 51. So by bipartisan, you mean it was one fucking Republican. Yeah, and I tell you, it was Rand Paul. That was the one Republican. Rand fucking Paul. Maybe also Lisa Murkowski, maybe. But that was it. So they call that bipartisan. You get one bipartisan. The Ford, did they say it's bipartisan? The Senate, the continuing resolution that Congress, Senate's trying to pass is bipartisan because it has 3 Democrats voting for it? Are they saying that's bipartisan? No, they're not saying. They're saying it's a Republican bill. But this they're claiming is bipartisan because it had one fucking Republican. I think my computer is working goofy. I currently see 81. You might have to refresh. As you see 92, you might have to refresh, Vince. Like sometimes you have to refresh. It doesn't update the likes. So I see 92 right now. I will refresh. And it says 95. So 95 likes. Still need more to go. Yeah, Kentucky needs to check its water for LSD or something. Yeah. The Ford and its accompanying destroyers, the Winston Churchill, the Bainbridge, and the Mahan, have spent the past few weeks in the Med, according to U.S. Naval Institute's fleet tracker. They will join at least 8 Navy ships, thousands of Marines, Special Operations Forces, and land-based fighter jets already deployed to the Caribbean. What about there's always at least a couple frigates along with those destroyers and at least one cruiser. You know, there's got to be an Aegis cruiser protecting that. There's got to be an Aegis cruiser protecting a carrier, right? I mean, who's going to give air cover if it's not the Aegis cruiser? Right? Am I wrong? I don't know. Carrier strike groups represent the pinnacle of U.S. sea power. The Ford carries 4 squadrons, each with 10 to 14 FA-18 fighter jets capable of bombing targets hundreds of miles inland from the ship. The 3 Arleigh Burke-class destroyers can carry more than 90 Tomahawk-guided cruise missiles, though it's unclear how many are loaded aboard the strike group or aboard the 3 Burke-class destroyers. Oh, there's already 3 destroyers in the... Are they saying those 3 destroyers are in the... Oh, chill. Coupons, Family Dollar. Guys, get your chills and thrills. Look at that. 3 for $5 on that. Okay. You just know how to play Battleship. I know a local guy who got sliced up bad in Panama. And then, Faux news over here. Faux news says U.S. deploys Ford carrier strike group to combat narco terror in the Western Hemisphere by land and sea. President teases ground strikes on drug cartels. Oh, wow.
Here's why you should switch from Google to DuckDuckGo on all your devices. DuckDuckGo comes
No.
with a built-in search engine like Google, but it's
Oh, join Fox News for access to this content. Seriously, Fox News? You guys are real jerkbags. Real jerkbags lately, Fox News, putting stuff behind paywalls. What the hell's wrong with them?
Alleged drug traffickers in the Pacific Ocean. That brings to 9 the total number of strikes in recent weeks. President Trump is lauding the efforts to fight drug cartels as a historic success. State Department correspondent Jillian Turner has our update.
It should now be clear to the entire world that the cartels are the ISIS of the Western Hemisphere.
President Trump today warned again about the dangers foreign drug cartels pose operating drug boats at sea. He also appeared to threaten ground strikes on narco traffickers wherever they are operating.
Well, what else is in the carrier strike group then, Gundam? Because it used to have at least one cruiser, you would have 3 destroyers, you would have a few frigates, you would have a sub. What is in the carrier strike group then? It's got to still be 8 to 9 ships, right? You got to have a screen. You got to have a screen around it, around the carrier.
And the land drugs are much more dangerous for them. It's going to be much more dangerous. You'll be seeing that soon.
The Pentagon executed its 9th lethal strike since
Land
September
drugs much
on
more dangerous. So
alleged cartel
Trump's
drug boats
talking
in
about it.
international waters yesterday, this time in the Eastern Pacific. The strikes have so far killed dozens of people, including civilians claiming to be fishermen.
But when you see 5 engines on a boat going about 65 miles an hour, loaded up with white powder in silver cases, generally speaking, that's not a good sign. They're not going fishing.
This prompting pushback from Republicans who question the strike's legality.
Congress isn't hearing enough in any forum, including in a public forum. I think legal rationales behind these issues should be openly discussed.
But the cabinet is touting these strikes' success and insists they are a crucial element of President Trump's war on drugs.
Every boat we strike is 25,000 Americans whose lives are saved because of the drugs that were headed in our direction.
This is not a pilot program. This is permanent. We are here to stay.
Well, the president said he will definitely be sending Secretary of War Hegseth up to Capitol Hill to brief lawmakers on the details surrounding this campaign targeting boats. But he also said he is not going to ask for a formal declaration of war from those same lawmakers. Instead, he will just kill anybody bringing drugs into the country. Those were his words. Brett?
Jillian Turner, live at the State Department. Jillian, thank you.
Okay. Oh, look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Trump, I think we're just going to kill people that are bringing drugs in our country, okay? We're just going to kill them, you know? We're just going to be, like, dead, okay?
Mr. President, if you are declaring war against these cartels and Congress is likely to approve of that process, why not just ask for a declaration of war?
Well, I don't think we're going to necessarily ask for a declaration of war. I think we're just going to kill people that are bringing drugs into our country. Okay? We're going to kill them. You know, they're going to be like dead. Okay? Yeah.
Mr. President, if you are declaring war.
It's been a war on drugs for a while. I think we're just going to kill people that bring drugs in our country. Based. Let's see. This is like we get to find out together what this is. And then MSNBC says President Trump is going to start using the military to kill any person he wants in any location inside the United States. These people are fucking delusional. He's acclimating the people to the notion that the military is his private army, unconstrained by law, unconstrained by norms, unconstrained by American traditions. I really don't think this had anything to do with drugs. Oh, it doesn't? It doesn't have anything to do with drugs. Insane what they will say to defend narco-terrorists. I mean, this is just nuts, man.
On Helene's point about the possibility here of war crimes. I mean, even the fact that there are officers who are having that conversation tells you about the 5-alarm fire that we are in, because the Trump administration claims they can lawfully kill people simply because they are suspected of drug trafficking like enemy troops instead of arresting them for prosecution. Does that match your understanding of the law?
No, not American law and not international treaties to which we are a signatory. Basically, the president, and I want to kind of foot stomp behind Paul here about a plan. The American president has said, I can point the U.S. military any place I want and kill anyone I want. That eventually is going to become a principle in the domestic use of the military.
Yes.
He is acclimating people to the notion that the military is his private army, unconstrained by law, unconstrained by norms, unconstrained by American traditions. And that, I don't really think this has anything to do with drugs. I mean, sometimes I wonder how far he's going to go to stop the release of the Epstein files and how many distractions he's going to throw at us.
Oh, it's the Epstein files.
But this is about getting out from under his already dismal record, his record low approval ratings, his struggling with a scandal. And he is now saying, I am going to acclimate the American public to the use of military force anywhere I deem it appropriate under any circumstances. And I may well, the president may be thinking, I may well have us in a war by the time the elections roll around, which will enable me to say any opposition to me and my party is basically treason and unpatriotic.
Yes, definitely. I hope so. I hope they start arresting people. Start with you. Arrest that guy first. Just like that meme from Brad Pitt from the movie Fury. Shoot that guy. That's right. Charge Obama, and then maybe we can talk about Trump. Maduro isn't legitimately holding office. And you think Venezuela signed a treaty to stop sending drugs? Yeah. Is that idiot Tom Nichols? Yes, it is. What are American traditions? It's to kill your enemies. Yeah, what do they think Commander-in-Chief means? And Joe says, here's some unpopular comment. He is funny, and yes, I laugh, but no, he can't just be doing that without reporting to the assholes in Congress. Joe, he did. He did report to Congress. He did report to Congress a while ago. Under the War Powers Act, the president can conduct operations for 90 days. 90 days. All right. And then once he notifies Congress, it can go even longer. And Congress has to stop him. He doesn't have to stop on his own. If Congress is upset about it, that they can stop paying for it. But it's funny how that works when we're in a government shutdown and Congress hasn't provided any budget or anything. So how can Congress really stop him right now? It's kind of a conundrum right now. The government shut down, there's no money, so Trump just has the money that he has to do what he wants with. It's kind of a weird sticky wicket that they're in. I'm not saying it's good. But, did George H.W. Bush go to Congress before we invaded Panama in 89? No. Did Ronald Reagan notify Congress before we invaded Grenada in 86, right? 84, 85, somewhere around there. I don't know what it was back then. 84, 85, maybe. Nope. The Monroe Doctrine. I mean, he notified, but Trump did send the proper notification to Congress about these strikes. Yes, Bella did move. Mm-hmm. War Powers Act are used. He needs to report for funding, but he's risking weak Republicans to turn on him. They need to feel important too. Yeah, no. Problem, Joe, is right now, because of the government shutdown, Congress isn't giving out any funding. There is no funding coming from Congress. Trump is moving money around to use money that he has already allocated for stuff. So Congress would actually get back, reopen the government for them to do something about this. First off. Secondly, though, Congress was notified, so if they want to do something, they can. They haven't. You know, one senator, Rand Paul, got together with all the Democrats to try and stop Trump, and it got shot down. Yeah. Our Congress authorized the bullshit Gulf War. Yeah, they did, the Gulf War. Yeah, I know there's no funding personally. Yeah. I mean, so, like, what, they're going to shut the money off more? I mean, if Congress wants to, this is a very popular thing, actually, with the people, what's happening right now. The American public is like, yeah, fuck that. Get rid of them. You know, almost everybody knows somebody who's died from fentanyl or something like that, you know, or from, yeah, fentanyl, basically. I've lost cousins and other people to fentanyl, other friends. I don't have any, I don't know. You know, MSNBC's hysteria is pure fear-mongering. Trump's focus is restoring law and order, not militarizing cities. The Insurrection Act exists to protect Americans from chaos, not enable tyranny. Remember when Biden let cities burn in 2020? Now enforcing the law is authoritarian? Classic media hypocrisy. The real threat is narco-terrorists and unchecked crime, not a president upholding public safety. If invoking the Insurrection Act stops fentanyl, traffickers, and violent gangs, it's a win for national security. DC elites would rather defend criminals than admit their policies failed. The facts on who's actually protecting America and who's enabling chaos is laid bare. That's right. Yeah, give the local police a clean slate to work with. All right, you guys are going to have to give me a few minutes. I have a bunch of tabs I have to open to continue the show. All right. Boo-ba-doo, boo-boo-boo. Boo-boo-boo-boo. Hold on, I'll do this. Sorry about that. Oh, the other guy is says 15 Oilers for 11 carries. Now do the shit hits the fan. Math accounting for maintenance and downtime. They're lucky to have one if they're out. Yeah. You needed a pee break? No, I was opening tabs. I didn't just want to sit here while you guys watch me open tags. I thought that would lack of oilers basically made the Navy useless for the last 2 years. Yeah. Anyway, so epoch time, we're saying right here, I love the Constitution and my favorite president. Okay. Harmeet Dillon's inside America's Trump administration's shakeup of the civil rights division. See more. That's right. Harmeet Dillon is inside the civil rights division, shaking things up.
For praying outside. People have been arrested, prosecuted, and sent to jail for years for praying outside abortion clinics. There were very few prosecutions of actual violence against pregnancy crisis centers.
How is the Trump administration transforming the DOJ's civil rights priorities? Joining us today for a deep dive is Assistant Attorney General Harmeet Dillon, head of the DOJ's Civil Rights Division. Their jurisdiction includes a wide range of constitutional issues, from religious freedom to Title IX protections for women's sports to race-based discrimination.
I have asked every member of Congress who asked me my opinion, Harmeet, what can we do to remedy the laws? I said, get rid of Jacobson versus Massachusetts. Do not allow states to do whatever they want to their citizens in the name of public health.
This is American Thought Leaders, and I'm Yanya Kellick.
Let's see. So Harmeet Dillon inside the Trump shakeup. I don't know. We're gonna watch this. I don't want to watch this whole thing. I'll jump a little bit here. Let's see. So
the lawyers and the other staff in the sections, what the priorities were going to be, and they were derived from the president's executive orders as well as, priorities within the Department of Justice that the Attorney General Pam Bondi and Deputy Attorney General have mentioned, and so that actually triggered quite a few people in the department.
You're right, Charles. I should have just put Bella full screen like this, and then I could have went and done the tabs and let you guys stare at Bella. That's what I should have did. I apologize. I will make sure I do that next time. You love Harmeet, just don't give her a CDL. At least have Bella cam up. You could ask AI to summarize. I'm going to watch a little bit. We're going to jump to more stuff. I just wanted to play a little. I thought this was an article.
Spent some of their careers doing, certain agendas to say, I don't want to work here anymore because I don't want to do that. I want to do what I was doing in the last 4 years. That's not how it works. The Department of Justice is part of the executive branch. It's under the president. And so the president gets to set the agenda. And so as long as we're hewing to what the statutory basis is that I've been assigned to do by Congress, it's fair for us to change our priorities. And so apparently people didn't like that. So quite a few lawyers and other staff took the opportunity the government was offering under this transition to take effectively a 5-month paid leave. So they're still on the books, but they're no longer working at the DOJ. That was really hundreds of people.
Well, so where are we at? I think the Washington Post reported towards the end of April that.
All right, yeah, we're going to jump to a different thing. I'm not going to watch all this, so we got it's lots of complaints going back before Reagan that we expanded combat unit but ignored support units ranging from armored recovery vehicles, airlift capabilities, and fleet replenishment ship. Yeah, that whole push that Reagan was trying to get us back to a 300 ship Navy. They didn't, they brought a bunch of ships out of retirement, like the Iowa battleships and stuff, out of mothballs, and spent tons of money getting them back up to operational capabilities, and then they just mothballed them again after the Gulf War. So it didn't make a lot of sense why they did that. Like, I guess they realized that those battleships, they're awesome battleships. I mean, shit, man, they could take they're pretty awesome. The battleships, Iowa class battleships were pretty awesome piece of equipment. You could fire a 6-ton or whatever it was, shell 27 miles or something like that, 30 miles. So Harmeet Dillon just confirmed that the Trump DOJ is sending election monitors to polling places during the upcoming New Jersey and California elections November 4th. Sorry, but that's not how fraud works. It's mail-in and using real registration of people who have moved or inactive and deceased or non-existent. Drop in ridiculous drop boxes. Yeah, no stupid drone is sinking a battleship nor a swarm of them. That's right. Not in Iowa. He would not, And then that's what they need to get for ships, they really should be looking at some kind of for drone defenses. They should be looking at either some kind of pulse weapon or going back to like sea whiz phalanx type of gun, or some kind of mass like mass shotgun, rapid fire shotguns. Wasn't that Rumsfeld want to redesign a something warfare? Yeah. Is this legal? The DOJ and NJGOP need to reinstate the cameras and sign-in logs before the election. Don't let them steal our elections. That's right. New Jersey Democrats block cameras in the ballot storage areas. So that's why this is happening. They're sending them there to go after this. Under Pam Bondi, civil rights will station election monitors in New Jersey and California for the upcoming election, helping to ensure that every vote cast is free and fair. And Governor Newsom says this is not a federal election. The U.S. DOJ has no business or basis to interfere with this election. This is solely about whether California amends our state constitution. This administration has made no secret of its goal to undermine free and fair elections. Deploying these federal forces appears to be an intimidation tactic meant for one thing: suppress the vote. Wow. I guess he's admitting he wants to cheat. That's what it sounds like to me. Okay, well, just want to let everybody know we are rapidly approaching the end of the show here. If we don't start getting some goal meetings happening, start getting close. We got about another 10 minutes, 15 minutes tops of the show. So. This says Mississippi held no federal elections on November 7th, 2023. The DOJ sent monitors. What changed? Oh, see, it's different when Democrats send monitors to Republican states. That's fine. But if it's the other way around, it's election interference, you see? It's different with the D. Been to the Missouri Museum twice. When the dude blew up one of Iowa's number 2 turrets, it was found the company made the parts and the dies were long gone. Money to try and make the new dies and parts. Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's the thing too. Like Gundam, I don't know if you know, but I read a whole thing about it. There was a whole what they tried to digitize the guidance system for the 16-inch guns, because it's an entire mechanical computer system that targets, and it's pretty accurate. They couldn't get a system to actually do it, a digital system and controls to actually do it, so they just left the mechanical system in place, mechanical computer in place to do it, because it worked. Yeah. Yep, him and Obama made it a national issue with their ads. Yes, they did. Department of Justice to monitor polling sites in California and New Jersey. Today, the Department of Justice announced that it will monitor polling sites in 6 jurisdictions ahead of the upcoming November 4th general election to ensure transparency, ballot security, and compliance with federal law. Asymmetrical warfare was the Rumsfeld doctrine. Yes, it was. The department, through the Civil Rights Division, enforces federal voting rights laws that protect the rights of all eligible citizens to access the ballot. The department regularly deploys its staff to monitor for compliance with federal civil rights laws and elections in communities across the country. Transparency at polls translates into faith into the electoral process, and this Department of Justice is committed to upholding the highest standards of election integrity, said Attorney General Pam Bondi. We will commit the resources necessary to ensure the American people get free, fair, and transparent elections they deserve. If I remember correctly, the big guns. If I remember correctly, the problem was that whenever the guns actually fired, it caused the guidance, computerized, digital, whatever you want to call it, electronic guidance system to get all scrambled and jacked up. It couldn't, the amount of force and everything, because when those guns fire, the ship moves several feet. Just boom, the whole ship moves. So they couldn't stabilize it. So the mechanical one was the only way that they could make it work. The Department of Justice will do everything necessary to protect the votes of eligible American citizens, ensuring our elections are safe and secure, said Assistant Attorney General Harmeet K. Dillon of the Civil Rights Division. It's a federal election if it's about changing the House of Representatives map. Well, all elections have federal implications because it's the federal law that guarantees the equal rights, equal access to the ballots and all that stuff. It's federal law that oversees it all. So they can't tell them, they can't tell them how to do the election, but they can make sure they're not cheating. Our democracy depends on free and fair elections, says Bill Alessi, the Assaley, or whatever his name is, the Central District of California, will work tirelessly to uphold and protect the integrity of the election process. Election protection means making sure that every eligible voter can participate freely and every lawful vote is counted, said U.S. Special Attorney Lena Habba for the District of New Jersey. Our office is committed to working alongside our federal, state, and local partners to ensure transparency, security, and public confidence in the election process. At this time, the department will monitor the following jurisdictions: Passaic County, New Jersey; Kern County, California; Riverside County, California; Fresno County, California; Orange County, California; and Los Angeles, California. As Attorney General Pam Bondi's direction, this effort will be overseen by the department's Civil Rights Division under the leadership of Harmeet K. Dillon. The division will deploy civil rights personnel who coordinate with U.S. Attorney's offices. The Civil Rights Division voting section enforces various federal statutes that protects the right to vote, including the Voting Rights Act, National Voter Registration Act, and Help America Vote Act, Uniformed and Overseas Citizens Absentee Voting Act, and the Civil Rights Acts. This initiative is aimed at promoting transparency and open flow of communication between poll observers, election monitors, to ensure that elections proceed with a high degree of security. From now up until Election Day, Civil Rights Division personnel will be available to receive questions and complaints from the public related to possible violations of federal voting rights laws. If you would like to request election monitoring in a particular jurisdiction, please contact the voting section at VEM@usdoj.gov, and the Civil Rights Division will determine whether monitoring is warranted. DOJ sends federal election watchers to California and New Jersey counties amid Republican requests. Let's see.
Here's why you should switch from Google to DuckDuckGo on all your devices.
Oh, another one of these. Man, Fox News is really starting to irk me. California prosecutors break down serious charges. Democrats literally jumped the shark, political analyst says. Waters, I guess billionaires aren't that bad, according to Barney Sanders, all of a sudden, since billionaires are paying for his stuff. There we go.
North Bergen, New Jersey, tonight, covering the governor's race there. Good evening, Brian.
Brett, good evening. Both candidates have called in reinforcements to help get out the vote. Today, Florida Republican Congressman Byron Donalds joined Jack Ciattarelli, meeting voters at diners across New Jersey.
It's about winning. We've got to help everybody get across the line. This country is on the precipice of really doing great things. We've seen what happened in New Jersey already the last 8 years. We can't continue down that line.
A new Rutgers poll confirms New Jersey's governor's race is tightening. Democrat Mikey Sherrill leads Ciattarelli by 5 points with likely voters. 2 months ago, her lead was 9 points. Sherrill's now calling in big Democrats. Governors Wes Moore and Gretchen Whitmer joined her on the trail last week, with future visits scheduled by Governor Josh Shapiro, Pete Buttigieg, and President Obama. Democrats have expressed concerns about Sherrill's ability to excite Latino and black voters. In a new video, Sherrill tries to speak directly to Hispanic voters while admitting her Spanish isn't very good.
Hola, Nueva Jersey. Mi español no es muy bueno, pero quiero hablar directamente a la comunidad latina.
President Trump is expected to hold a tele-rally for Republican Jack Ciattarelli sometime before Election Day in an effort to motivate MAGA supporters to show up to the polls in an election when Trump's name is not on the ballot. Brett?
Brian, thank you.
Okay, here we go. Here's the story from the Washington Post. As DOJ pretends prepares to send election monitors to California and New Jersey following a request from state GOP. Department of Justice will send election observers to California and New Jersey next month. DOJ announced Friday it's planning to monitor polling sites in all these counties. We read all this stuff. So the DOJ's efforts are the latest salvo in the GOP's preoccupation with election integrity after Trump spent years refusing to accept the. Oh, fuck you. I ain't going to read this. This is such bullshit. You know, Democrats fear the new administration will attempt to gain the upper hand. Oh, yeah, by trying to win, make sure you can't cheat. If you're not cheating, what are you worried about? New Jersey's Attorney General called the move highly inappropriate and said the DOJ has not even attempted to identify a legitimate basis for its action. Their basis is the fucking Constitution, dickhead. Sorry. California House districts are at stake. Yeah. Well, yeah, you don't want to lose those House districts, do you? Voters can have confidence their ballot is handled securely and counted accurately. Sure, yeah. Yeah, they'll just hide up the things. Tu español es holandés, no hables más. Well, this is why. This is exactly why. Because President Trump says it right now. The Democrat Party is only good at three things: cheating on elections, playing very dirty, and one good trait: they stick together through the worst policies anyone's ever seen. It's a dead party because their policies are no good.
Nobody says anything about that, but they mentioned it the other way. No, the Democrats play a very dirty game. It's all they're good at. They're good at a couple of things: cheating on elections and playing very dirty. And
thanks for coming out, KPT. Thanks for coming out.
They stick together. They stick together through the worst policies that anybody's ever seen. It's unbelievable how they stick together. And I respect them for sticking together, but it's a dead party because their policies are no good. Okay. Nobody says that.
Yeah. Of course they don't. They don't want their election looked over in California. Just look at ballot curing. Yeah, no, I know. Liberty Vote purchased Dominion Vote. He's an ex-GOP official, Scott Leindecker. KPT says, "Damn, late again. At least I keep showing up." Well, thanks for showing out, KPT. But unfortunately, we didn't hit the goal for the second additional hour, so the show is going to be coming to an end very, very soon. Not right this minute, but very soon. I'm going to stick around for a little bit just to see if some money comes in, and maybe we'll extend it a little longer. We'll see what happens. One second here. Nope. Okay. You'll be going to the beginning when this ends? Oh, sounds good. Let's see here. So, breaking news. FBI raids gambling ring tied to the Italian mafia. More than 30 people arrested, including Trailblazers coach Chauncey Billups and Heat's Terry Rozier. What? FBI Director Kash Patel on Thursday announced the arrest of more than 30 people across 11 states, including the Trailblazers head coach Chauncey Billups and Miami Heat player Terry Rozier, as part of the takedown of a massive sports gambling ring, which included a poker scheme and sports rigging. The poker scheme, which uses X-ray tables to read cards face down, wireless devices, and chip tray analyzers, was tied to the Italian mafia, La Cosa Nostra. They used the off-the-shelf snuffing machines that had been secretly altered in order to read the cards in the deck, predict which player at the table had the best poker hand, and relay that information to an off-site operator. Defendants used other cheating technologies such as poker chip tray analyzers, which is a poker chip tray that secretly reads cards using a hidden camera, special contact lenses or eyeglasses that could read pre-marked cards, and an X-ray table that could read cards face down on a table. The Bonanno, Gambino, Lucchesi, and Genovese crime family were involved. Terry Rozier allegedly used insider NBA information in a sports betting scheme. According to NYC Police Commissioner Jessica Tisch, Terry Rozier actually faked an injury to leave a game early to make sure the bets paid out. Wow, massive thunderstorm just hit you in Austin. Well, be safe. In some instances, players altered their performance or took themselves out of games to make sure those bets paid out. That's called, like, what, point skimming? Point shaving? Point shaving? An NBA player now with the Miami Heat, but at the time was playing for the Hornets, allegedly let others close to him know that he planned to leave the game early with a supposed injury. Using that information, members of the group placed more than $200,000 in wagers on his under statistics. Rozier exited the game after just 9 minutes, and those bets paid out, generating tens of thousands of dollars in profit. Chauncey Billups was tied to the underground rigged poker games. Cheating, corruption, and laundering have consequences. We followed the money, and the law caught up. We fought the law, and the law won. What's the matter? Why those multimillionaires do that dumb shit? They probably have they probably lost a bunch of money gambling, and they had to do it. They're probably going to get their legs broke.
In some instances, players altered their performance or took themselves out of games to make sure that those bets paid out. One example occurred on March 23rd, 2023 in Charlotte. Terry Rozier, an NBA player now with the Miami Heat, but at the time playing for the Hornets, allegedly let others close to him know that he planned to leave the game early with a supposed injury. Using that information, members of the group placed more than $200,000 in wagers on his under statistics. Rozier exited the game after just 9 minutes, and those bets paid out, generating tens of thousands of dollars in profit. The proceeds were later delivered to his home, where the group counted their cash. As the NBA season tips off, his career is already benched, not for injury, but for integrity.
Wow. Oh, that's crazy. That's nuts. That's crazy, 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 nuts, 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 nuts. That's nuts, nuts, nuts. Hold on. Oh, that's crazy, isn't it? That's pretty brazen. It's nuts. The charges and arrests were taken down across the country, ranging from wire fraud, money laundering, extortion, robbery. The fraud is mind-boggling. And full court fraud, Cash Patel on a sweeping NBA gambling bus.
The charges and the arrests that were taken down across this country range from wire fraud, money laundering, extortion, robbery, illegal gambling. This FBI will leave no room for any perpetrator of crime across this country. You hear a lot about our work of defending the homeland and crushing violent crime. Well, this work is also representative of a colossal portion of the FBI's mandate to keep America safe and to keep our entertainment industry fair and secure. The men and women that are standing up here today worked tireless hours, days, months, and years. And the fraud is mind-boggling. It's not hundreds of dollars. It's not thousands of dollars. It's not tens of thousands of dollars. It's not even millions of dollars. We're talking about tens of millions of dollars in fraud and theft and robbery across a multi-year investigation.
Yeah, Pat Hacker's right. Didn't they used to throw players out of the league for stuff like that? Oh yeah, oh yeah. Pete Rose is still not in the Hall of Fame because he bet on stuff. They never had him tied to any type of shenanigans where he did anything, you know. But FBI holds a press conference. This live stream is finished. We're not watching a 36-minute. No, we're not watching it. Okay. We got this. Reputed mobster Tommy Juice, once charged with beating porn star girlfriend, arrested as part of the NBA gambling bust. Reputed mobster. Reputed mobster, once accused of beating his porn star ex-girlfriend, is charged in a sweeping investigation into a multi-million-dollar rigged poker ring that included former NBA players. Thomas Gallardo, an associate with the Bonanno and Genovese crime families, known as Tommy Juice. Tommy Gallardo. Why do I know that name? Acted as muscle in the game, threatening victims to pay off their debts after they were ripped off in a poker game. Oh. Tommy Juice was part of a paid was paid as a portion of the proceeds when he kicked up the chain to his mob bosses. Prior to his gambling bust, he whined about being kept behind bars too long after he cashed his adult ex-model Trisha Gayer's stage name, Kendall Brooks, after he was arrested in 2015 for allegedly beating her and then reportedly ignoring a restraining order. Charges were dismissed in 2016 after the Naughty Athletics and Housewives Need Cash 5-star claimed she couldn't show up for trial because of a sick family member. The poker scene, Gallardo allegedly worked on behalf of the Bonanos, made him collections from the games, which took place in Manhattan, the Hamptons, and Las Vegas. Oh, that's his girlfriend? Julio, if you're here, you can't fix her. Trisha Gayer poses at the Exotica Miami in 2007. I bet you she looks a lot different now. The casinos blew the whistle. They don't want to lose the money. Yep. Yep, Pete Rose never bet against his own team, and he's still banned. 31 feds charged 31 people, including Trailblazers head coach Chauncey Billups and a former NBA player, Damon Jones. Scarsdale, New York native, also received a portion of the loot obtained from a rigged shuffling machine at one of the illegal games on Lexington Avenue in Manhattan. So these were like, you know, that has OF written all over it. Yep. Mm-hmm. And between November 2022 and 23, Gallardo and others worked to extort an unidentified victim, according to the documents. NBA gambling scandals. Yep. The scheme, according to prosecutors, was to lure unsuspected victims or fish to play high-stakes poker games alongside athletes like Billups and Jones, known in the ring as face cards. The games were fixed in the house's favor using sophisticated texts. Oh, so this is like from The Sopranos, from the executive game. Remember the executive game in The Sopranos? When they brought the people in and then they bust them out, you know, just like that. That's how they got David Scarpetti or whatever his name was, or yeah, they just took over his yeah. And then the NFL reminds its players of league gambling policy in light of the federal indictments. NFL reminded its players Friday that they are prohibited from taking part in any form of legal gambling and betting on league games. In a memo obtained by the Associated Press, the league asked all 32 teams to reiterate these key facts and aspects of the gambling policy. We have a responsibility to protect the integrity of the shield by ensuring that our game is played fairly, honestly, and to the best of the player's ability. These developments underscore, but see, that they don't really care if you beat the shit out of your wife or girlfriend or do that stuff in the NFL. They don't care. They don't mind it. They don't mind it. Don't place any bet on NFL football, throw or fix an NFL game, or otherwise manipulate or attempt to manipulate any play in the aspect of NFL. Share confidential, non-public information regarding any NFL game, player, or event. The topic comes up every year, said Sean Payton. There's a certain amount of presentations. It hits heavy. Obviously, it hits the sports world, and everyone is a close friend of many of us, myself included, and you hate it. So, yeah. So, all right, everybody. NFL's Player Association sent a similar memo to players Friday, pointing out that they should not bet on NFL games, gamble at a team facility, or while traveling on a road game, or enter a sports book during NFL playing season. Expect to access a part of the casino or promote a form of gambling or gambling entity. NFL players are allowed to legally place bets on other sports as long as they are off club property or not traveling with the team. They're also allowed to take part in traditional fantasy football leagues. Prize money cannot exceed $250 and legally gamble at casinos on personal time. Oh, well, that's very nice of them to allow them to legally. Oh, think God is angry. The Thunder is terrible. Wins too. Okay. All right, well, I want to thank everybody tonight. It was a nice show. We went an extra hour. I would have liked to go a little longer. Oh, you thought we had a drop screen on? Just a glitch? No. Oh, no. But it is ending right now. All right. I'm going to send everybody over to see my friend Shane Davis at the Baller Show. Say hi. Tell them hello, and I'll see you all Saturday night again at 10 o'clock. We'll try again. Maybe we can get a late night Saturday night, get a 5-hour, 6-hour show or something Saturday night. Be nice. But thank you all. Please hit the like button. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed. If someone wants to rate out, Rumble, go right ahead. Otherwise, come on back for Jim to tell you the news.